What's up, everybody? Welcome to Worcestery Council Theatre 3000. We're going to talk about a bike lane for 2.5 hours tonight.
Nice.
Who's ready for that? Who's excited? Who's ready to go? Brian should be joining us in a minute. He's having computer problems like he does every single week, and hopefully he gets that sorted out soon. But it's me and Brendan for now, and Travis Dude on the boards, obviously. And we have sort of a light agenda today. I don't even want to say it, and I'm not going to say it, but this could be, you know what, this might be, a normal length meeting, right?
You said it, dude. We're going to be here till midnight now.
I said normal length. I didn't say short. I didn't say it was going to be short. A couple things that might prove controversial tonight. We have a citizen petition from one John Dick. Is pulling sort of a Walter Bird on us, saying that, we need more community conversation around what's happening over on Mill Street. It's like the conversation that's the issue. It's not that I just think bike lanes are woke. It's that we need more conversation. So that's, we're bound to get, like, John Dick and company are going to be speaking. The local cranks are out in force. They do not like what's happening in Mill Street. They cannot drive their pickup trucks at 55 miles an hour anymore, and people are riding bikes. It's just, it's a brave new world, and they're not here.
It's a nightmare, Bill. It's an absolute nightmare. You would think that they replaced the road with a water slide, the way these folks are talking over there. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen.
It's like Walter, for weeks now after the election, has just been hammering on Mill Street and Attell, who calling her the counselor, just complaining about this so much. And they're so whipped up into a frenzy over this. It's unbelievable. And I don't know if they saw it yet, but there was this Mass Street Blog article about how they're going to do the same thing at Chandler Street, and that is going to go over like a lead balloon for these people. So
it's not entirely. I think I told you, Bill. I went to the community meeting last week about Mill Street, which was it was supposed to be, I guess, sort of like it's just a neighborhood meeting. So it was like the police were there, but Eric Batista came down to Attell. Councilor King came in later. It was supposed to be this just like normal, like answering questions thing. It was astounding to listen to what some of the concerns and complaints are. Like, more than one person actually, like, with a straight faced, asked a police officer in a uniform, like, but in the most exhausted sort of way, like, but what are we supposed to do when emergency vehicles come? And to like look at a police officer like standing there, completely flummoxed, me like, the same thing you do on any one lane road. Just like do your best to pull over and we'll figure it out. Like we don't need you to do anything. Like unless you're driving the ambulance, really not your concern. Just go about your day, people.
That sounds exactly like the Mill Street meeting.
Worcester's never had narrow streets before, okay? This is a new problem that we can't figure out, okay? Where are the trash, Brendan? Where's trash? Huh?
They had so much conversation about how people are supposed to safely get their groceries out of their cars when they're parked in their giant marked parking spaces in the street now. And they're like, well, don't you technically have more space now? Unless there's a bike coming, but like you'll see that it's not
or
like
a lot of bikes.
Yeah, like why don't you have a driveway?
Race?
What are you, poor? Right?
Yeah, well, that's actually where the conversation got weird, was because then it turned into this thing about like, well, there's multi-generational families and everyone has cars now. It's like, okay, well, like that's something else you're gonna have to figure out. I was kind of hoping that one of the counselors or even Eric would have taken things to another level and said, you realize that your house is over there and where you're parking is city-owned property. Like, we're giving you free parking.
Right.
And you're complaining about this. I feel like that's the way the whole thing needs to be reframed. Is like, you realize there are no meters here. Like, we can do that if you want. Like, we can start ticketing. We'll make a lot more money if we put up meters and ticket you every day. Yeah.
I'll just get rid of the parking. Why not?
Right? Well, because then we're back to 2 lanes, Bill.
Oh, yeah, right.
No, double bike lane.
Oh, my God. Double bike lane. Walter Bird's head would explode.
ATV lane. That's what I'd be doing.
There we go. Yeah.
System Nomad, what? Hi. Hello, guys. I I thought we agreed last week there was no meeting, and I thought you guys were joking when we talked about it 2 hours ago that there actually was one. So sorry for being late.
Sorry. I think
yeah, this meeting stuck up on me too. I didn't realize it until yesterday, and I saw Marco had a tweet where he was like, "I'm on vacation, but here's my city council preview anyway," and it's like some vacation, Marco. But then I was like, "Oh dang, there's a city council meeting."
Thanks for
Brian, we were just discussing. What's that?
Saying thanks, Marco, for texting me.
Yeah.
What were you guys talking
We were
about?
just discussing John Dick. John Dick's petition tonight to have conversations about Mill Street. I think that public comment tonight will probably see about an hour straight of different opinions on whether bike lanes are good. And I'm just going to disassociate through that, just zone out.
Yeah.
A
friend of mine made a post who doesn't even live in Worcester, made a post about Mill Street, and I just was like, I'm just choosing not to. Like, you can be as stupid as you want. You're allowed to be as stupid as you want about this, and you can't change anything. So it's done. It's not. They're not going to go backwards on it. So I'm just choosing to stay out of it. So I think that's where we're at. As far as I think that's how we should handle it.
So someone that doesn't even live in Worcester posted negatively about there being a bike lane on Mill Street.
Yeah. That's just like, oh wow, this is so much better now, and like just being sarcastic and like,
right?
They're like, oh, good thing this parade of bikes, and well, fucking the end of November, dumb shit, but whatever.
Oh man, yep. That's where we're at here in Worcester. Public infrastructure that other normal cities have been doing for 20 years now is just now hitting the city, and we cannot handle it.
It's woke.
It's fucking woke, brother. And I am, you know what? I'm not woke. I watch different TV station.
Yeah, you have a Carhartt hat.
So I have a car, and I like to hit people with it. Going really
you have a
fast.
hockey shirt on. That's working class, baby.
Yeah. So I deserve to be able to drive from Tatnick to Breens at 55 miles an hour there and back. Much more dangerous coming back, obviously, because I had 10 drinks. This is sop up my steak and cheese. Well, I watched the Bruins and scream.
Just scream.
Just scream. And that's basically what everyone's been doing online about this so far. So this is going to be a continuation of that. But I did hear that, people that actually care about, public infrastructure and the city having nice things are also planning on showing up to speak to drown out or counter out the noise from our crank contingent. So yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Imagine what's going to happen in Worcester if we change something like meaningful.
Oh, dude, it's like actual pitchforks. I think.
Yeah,
like Sacco and Vanzetti style fire bombings.
This is the thing that's blowing my mind. Is like, I mean, I've been driving on Mill Street like on a daily basis for the majority of my life, and I can't remember really ever seeing much use of it at all. Like, I'm shocked at how much noise there is because like the street's always empty. Like during rush hour, there might be like 2 or 3 cars in your visual now. Now you're up to like maybe 6 in a nice orderly line.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it's like it's a street that I would say 90% of the city couldn't find their way to unless you gave them directions or Google helped out. It's in Tatnick Square. Like nobody on the other side of Park Avenue has ever been to Tatnick Square from a townie perspective. Like, what are we going to do if like something real has to change?
Yeah. Like how am I going to get to the 3rd best McDonald's in Worcester in 5 minutes from 146 if I can't go 60 down Mill Street?
It's the 3rd, yeah.
Actually, I just threw out 3rd, but I think that might actually be the correct assessment.
I think it is because West Boylston Street is up there.
Shrewsbury Street's
very good. I think the what's the one by the old over Grafton Hill, leaving town.
Oh, that's a really, really good McDonald's.
Yeah, that
on
might be
Grafton
3.
Street
That might be
by
3.
AP
That
Finn?
might
They're
be
the
4.
best.
Yeah.
See, and Yenny, like, this is what I'm getting at, though. I disagree with that. And I say this as a lifer Tatnick Square person, right? Like, that was my highway. I'm the asshole who would drive 70 miles an hour down Mill Street because I fucking can. The city just made it normal, right? Like, they just slowed it down for me. So now I have to act like an adult. I know who the people are who are complaining. They're the people who are driving so slow on Mill Street that I had to drive 70 miles an hour to get around them. Like, these are people who are just angry because something changed. It's really all it comes down to. It's like, if it's just change, and they're people that can't deal with anything. They're wearing the same underwear all week. That's who these people are. One pair of underwear, never change their socks.
Yeah. Well, just in case those people are hate watching this program now or after the fact, this Mill Street redesign is paving the way for communist style land reform.
Yenny, never say anything like this ever again. Brendan is not a reasonable human. His whole deal is that he's unreasonable.
I said that at the meeting the other night. Like, I was trying to get through to people that, like, yeah, I'm not being soft here. Like, in this room, I am definitely the person who drives the fastest on this road at all. And I'm looking at the cops that are there. I'm like, look, I'm happy to self-incriminate, but, like, this is a good thing. Like, this is the concept of traffic calming. This is it. Like, you've got me to relax because I'm no longer behind someone driving 10 miles an hour. So I feel obligated to, like, show them what's up, right? Like, I'm a really angry, aggressive driver, and, like, streets like this fix people like me. That's why we neuter dogs.
Yeah, Mill Street. It's like cutting your dog's balls off.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, we should call in tonight and throw that line into the mix.
Spay and neuter your streets.
Spay and neuter your streets.
What else? We got accessory dwelling units on the agenda again. I don't know if they're going to talk about that, but if they do, it'll be interesting, because if you'll remember last time that came up at the council, our crank councilors had a meltdown about it. Candy Merrill Carlson famously said that we're going to get rid of all zoning, which was like the dumbest possible read of what this thing is of all time. And Mo Bergman got pretty racist about it.
Yeah.
What did he say? The character of the neighborhoods or whatever. And the planning board endorsed ADUs enthusiastically with no qualms and no Nazi Germany style checking of blood lineage to see who's living where.
We got him.
So that'll be interesting for certain city councilors to deal with if they choose to deal with it tonight. But who knows? Maybe they'll just wait for it to go to subcommittee, and we'll have those conversations then about whether we should be knocking on people's doors and seeing what their bloodlines are.
Do you think that they want to have the conversation before? Because I mean, the January 2nd, the tenor of the city council doesn't change much, but it does change a little. Like,
true, yeah. I mean, I don't know. So Sean Rose would have voted for ADUs, I think, and I think Jenny would too. But I haven't talked to Jenny. I
think Jenny will or would. I don't know about Sean. I guess that's a good question. I think he would, but I don't know. I think he would, but you never know. Depends on who gets in his ear, I guess.
Yeah, and I don't know. Sarai Rivera and Luis Ojeda are the same. Yeah, so I think you might be looking at a maybe even like a 6-5, 7-4 vote in favor of just unqualified ADU support, which is crazy. This stupid song again is such a funny way of describing it.
We need that as a permanent quote.
Oh, this stupid song.
Make an overlay of that, please, Travis, so we can play it every week. Oh, this stupid song again. I'm always saying that at baseball games and getting things thrown at me. Oh, this stupid song again.
It was like Kendrick Lamar or someone tweeted one time that the national anthem isn't even a bop or something like that. I can't even remember what it was, but it was so funny. It's like I think it was like that song doesn't even slap. It was like during the time that people were kneeling, and everyone that's showing up to speak about Mill Street tonight was having an aneurysm about it.
Silence for the passing of two people. First, I'd like to acknowledge the passing of Rosalind Carter, wife of former President Jimmy Carter. Among her many accomplishments, President Mrs. Carter worked with more than 104,000 volunteers across the United States and 14 countries to build and renovate and repair over 4,000 homes.
Dude, why? What?
Humanity. Also recognize the passing of John Walsh, who fought valiantly against stomach cancer. He was known for reinventing politics in Massachusetts. In their memory, I'll ask for a moment of silence. Thank you.
Is Jimmy Carter dead yet? Oh.
He's a bachelor.
Roll call.
Oh, Mike Trainer walking in. Speaking of bachelor,
Council Bergman,
wow.
Valorio,
Here.
Council Haji, Council King,
Here.
I can't wait for Fred Nathan
Carlson.
tonight. This is Fred Nathan's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
real time to
Council
shine.
Rivera,
Yeah.
All eyes on him tonight.
Rose,
He's gonna say some
Here.
wild
Council
ass
Russell,
shit.
Yeah.
Council Toomey,
Here.
Well, you know, Fred
Isn't that
catches
here?
the bus in the morning at
Business
the
approval of minutes
beginning of
of
Mill
the
Street, so
October
he's
24th
clearly an
meeting.
expert on that roadway. He stands on the corner of it every
He
single
just
day.
gave- He just gave someone the go
Council
at.
Valorio,
Yes.
Council Haji,
Yes.
Council King,
Yes.
Council
Yes.
Mayor Carlson, Council Nguyen,
Yes.
Council Rivera,
Yes.
Council Rose,
Yes.
Council Russell,
Yes.
Council Toomey,
Yes.
and Mayor Petty.
Yes. Public participation. A person may speak for no more than 2 minutes.
Let's
on
go,
any item
Fred.
appearing on the
Let's go,
agenda.
Fred.
Use your name, see your residence.
Let me know
and
how you
your
feel
area.
about bike lanes, brother.
Good evening, Roberta Bryan, Executive Vice President, Worcester Business Development Corporation. Quick thanks to my gallery colleagues for letting me go first. I'm here to speak on item 9.4, Section A, the agenda item pertaining to the Responsible Development Ordinance. WBDC is a mission-oriented developer with a history of 58 years of development in the city, successful because of its diversity. WBDC's mission has a goal of increasing jobs that begin with
Kind of a
design
star-studded
services and
gallery
extend
tonight.
to remediation, demolition, site prep, utility work, and road construction. The intent behind the WBDC's work is to provide short and long-term
Yeah, I'm
employment
seeing both
opportunities
Tim
for Worcester
Garvin and
residents,
John Oliver.
support Worcester companies, and contribute to the Worcester economy by continuing to build and facilitate.
WBDC is
proving that
fucking,
you can live and work in Worcester.
like
that
the
good
Chamber of
jobs can be
Commerce,
found close to home
basically.
and should be available to anyone who meets certain requirements. In all
What
of
is
the
their-
projects that it owns, manages, or advises on,
They
WBDC
are literally
carefully
just the
crafts
Chamber of,
project
it's the
teams
Worcester
that
Business
meet a variety
Development
of
Corporation.
standards,
Yeah.
qualifications,
they're
company
property owners.
location, contract price, and labor availability.
Yeah, and they like hook up development
Within
deals.
these teams, WBDC seeks out to diversify.
And
in
right
race
now they're
gender,
fighting, it sounds like
providing
the more
opportunities to
inclusive TIF
smaller and
policy.
upcoming contractors who subscribe to fair wages, safety, and local labor. WBDC is thrilled to now see that the city administration is recognizing the importance of the young future laborer in this dream team, those who seek experience in the industry. Because trades are our future, WBDC supports the changes to Responsible Developer Ordinance, which adds the goal.
Adela Hazard drinking a beer.
15% of
Love to
workforce
see it.
hours for qualified apprentices in an apprenticeship program registered
Make sure
with the
you're-
Worcester Division.
It legit looks like a seltzer.
Adding this goal to the policy in this way creates an
Drinking
open
a
and
claw.
fair competition for project owners and
Oh
applicants
man,
to create
tomorrow night she's gonna go
diversity and
nuts at the
provide
banner.
opportunity to all sizes of contractors and subcontractors.
No, the
The
goatee
revision
dude in the
follows the
back is
city
not that wicked
inclusive.
funny. That's Kevin Sen.
Not all contractors can be women.
That's not
all
Walter Bird.
contractors can be minorities.
Kevin's a good
Not
guy.
all
Kevin's real good.
contractors can have apprenticeship programs.
Yeah.
But if we can offer
Um,
opportunity to all
You can tell it's
contractors
not
to be
Walter Bird
successful
because his
by
head doesn't
achieving
come to a
respective
fucking
goals,
point.
We have created an inclusive policy that levels the playing field, yet still provides opportunity to those in the
Literally
margins.
the polar
Should
opposite
the
of
city
Walter
require
Bird.
apprenticeship from all contractors, it will guarantee.
But
that
no,
we
that's
take a
actually giving
giant step
Walter Bird way too
backwards
much credit.
and lose all of the progress made on supporting and providing opportunity to those small minority and
No worries.
women-owned businesses.
No worries,
A
Law
mandate
Paul.
to limit competition, drive costs up, reduce labor availability, and slow projects down. Please support the goal as offered, and let's include everyone, not just some. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Yeah, Fred, let's go, baby.
Fred Nathan Worcester. 8I. Mill Street design.
Wow.
You're going to be hearing
And could forge.
Chatter about Mill Street for as long as you're mayor. And as long as the city council stays.
That's such a bold claim. No one's going to remember this Mill Street thing in 2
It
years.
is unfortunate.
That is
I don't
so
know how much
crazy.
politics have played into it. I don't know if Worcester is going to get more money by having these bike lanes. The average person has told me they've only seen maybe one bike, maybe a week. So because of that,
It's been 20 degrees.
transform Mill Street into what it has become. I want to see what's going to happen when you get snowstorms. When you tell the people who are parking in the middle of the road, oh, by the way, go back to normal, park over by the curb.
What
It'll
are
be
you
very,
talking
very
about?
Interesting to watch. I hope no one gets seriously hurt or killed. If it is, I hate
Yes,
to
you
tell
do, dude.
but I think the city is culpable here. So if you think you had lawsuits,
They're what?
Wow.
now,
They're
get
culpable.
ready for the algorithm.
Comfortable. They're comfortable for the future crimes, the snowplows.
914A.
I
It
love
makes
watching
sense
Fred Nathan.
that the Worcester has a disaster relief fund, but you should have information put out so people will know automatically if we're talking about like what happened on.
Did you
Mill
guys hear
Street,
my crazy good
where
Walter
a
Bird joke
building
before I got
collapsed?
booted?
Is that
I
what you
don't
mean by
think so, no.
disaster? Are you talking about fires? Are you talking
You're
about
gonna have to tell it
floods?
again.
Are you talking about whatever else
We're
that
talking
could
about Kevin
happen?
Kassan, and I said you can tell it's
mean,
not Walter Bird because his head doesn't
we've
come to
been
a
lucky.
fucking point.
Oh, no,
Knock
wait,
on
yeah.
wood here to avoid
And they booted me
real
for it.
disaster here in
It's
this
too
city.
real.
I mean, remember, over a course of years now, they've been replacing gas lines. I mean, wasn't it a couple of years
Kevin
ago?
Kassan
Sonny
also
Lutz
doesn't have his
was
own mass live park.
pushing the city to check out all the gas lines under the
Can you wrap up?
sidewalks.
Fred, can you wrap up the comment?
I always try to stay within a 2-minute time zone. You know that by
I
now,
know you
Mr.
do.
Mayor.
You're over.
But anyhow,
Thank you. Did
You
your
know
name say
that,
everything?
Mr. Mayor. Wow.
Hi, my name is Oliver Chadwick. I'm a Worcester resident. I'd like to talk about item 8I and express strong support for the changes that have been made to Mill Street. I live a couple of minutes away from Mill Street myself. Mill Street before this change, is important to remember, was fantastically dangerous. The average speed was 12 miles an hour over the speed limit, and there were 269 crashes over the last 5 years. It's really a miracle that no one's been killed on it.
Cameron, do you think this guy's
The reason is that
Australian?
when the roads are multiple lanes and two
Well, he looks
wide,
it, doesn't he?
people automatically
He looks
treat
it.
it as a highway.
He
He
looks
does
it.
have a he has a
Wide
vibe.
road simply makes
It's
it
John
feel
Oliver
like we're
without a
going
British
too
accent.
slowly,
He's
so we
got,
go
I mean, he's
faster without
close. He's
thinking
got a
about
fucking
it.
Irish accent.
And while enforcement is important, it's much better to change the
Does he?
roadway itself. So we
Sort of.
automatically
You got
I don't
slow
hear
down
any
rather than
accent.
tempting us to speed
No,
and
he doesn't have an
only a
accent.
small fraction who get
He has sort of an act. He has the
ECM studied the traffic volumes and concluded that one lane was plenty.
look at that
Parking
concluded.
next to the traffic lane is exactly the same as every other one-lane road in the city and encourages
Look
people
at
to
I think he
Wow.
just
slow down.
talks like a normal person.
It's important to note
I
that the
don't know.
striping isn't actually.
That's why
Sometimes we have a hard time
he
hearing
stands
that.
out
To finish it as
That's
soon as
why he
possible.
stands out, because he's just too normal.
Though this is new in Worcester, and some might have not have seen it before, this arrangement is used all over the country and extensively in the greater Boston area.
Dude, you don't talk about that
The
here.
addition of a
See,
parking
too
protected
normal.
bike lane is also fantastic and allows non-car access to the businesses in Tatnick Square and the wonderful Coast Pond Broadwalk, which if folks haven't been, I highly recommend.
Okay,
John
yeah,
Oliver,
yeah.
told you.
All right, he hasn't
Expansion
had it.
Come
of
on.
our network of protected bike lanes is a critical part of the Green Worcester plan and has been highlighted in the Now Next plan as a way to allow the city to grow.
I didn't take this
without
guy for a
forcing
loyalist.
every resident to use a car for every single trip. This will also help mitigate
There's
the
a Target
internal
next to
parking
it,
and traffic
so
concerns
he's
we have
cool.
if we provide these
Okay,
other
cool.
options.
All right, all right.
Lastly, say we're lucky in Worcester to have expert professionals.
26
in our Department
plus
of
6 equals
Transportation
1,
and
baby.
Mobility,
Did
and
I
the
say that
city
right?
manager who supports their effort, and I thank them all. I ask the city council continue to support.
I like the IRA for the violence. I don't know anything about the politics.
See nobody else, so, sir? Yep.
Up the raw, but he
He doesn't have a black flag tattoo on
My
his
name is,
bicep. That'd be
Yasa.
so cool.
Actually here today as a resident of Cherry Valley, but I'm the manager of Landry's Bicycles, located over on Jolma Road, just off Grafton Street. My bicycle commute takes me straight across Worcester, 7.5 miles. Our cycling infrastructure is abysmal. I've ridden my bike in my whole life and commuted to a bunch of jobs using my bike, and the improvements that have made to
Yeah,
Mill
but has
Street,
Fred Nathan seen you do
are
it?
excellent, and I look forward to seeing the lines being finished there as well. I'm looking forward to even more lines coming in. I know
we
Stafford
thought they
Street
did, but I guess they voted to cancel
was
next
canceled
week.
as well. My route takes me straight down Stafford Street. On
Listen.
Saturday, I took a
You don't
ride
come to the
down
show for
on Mill
accurate
Street
information.
using the new bike lane, and
Come for the
spent
show.
lunch at a
Certainly not.
business
Come to the show
in
to
Essex
find out if
Square and rode my bike
if it's
back
late or
along
not.
the water. It was beautiful. A little bit of a tailwind. Nothing better than seeing the world by bike. And the way the bike lane is open,
You're here to
I
see
saw
if
4 or
Adele
5
Hazard is
cyclists,
drinking a White Claw
pass
tonight.
on the opposite way. We all
Everyone
gave
keep
each
that
other a
in mind
wave.
for
I
that.
saw a dad walking with his son who was riding a scooter and using the space as well. So appreciate the installation of Mill Street and look forward to riding it more frequently now that the improvements have been made. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
My name is John Dick, 61 Torrey Fort Lane.
That
Also
is
regarding
for sure.
changes
Whoever
to
named
Mill
him John Dick did a good job.
According to the Worcester official website, they are trying to put us on a road diet by introducing 11.
This guy is a dick if I've ever seen one.
I'm all
Wow,
for
that opening joke was so good.
that factor of trying to reduce speed, but speed is only one factor. Road design is even more consequential. Set it up for disaster and it will certainly follow. Change is always hard, but these present changes are fraught with multiple safety flaws. The official website again refers to Mill Street as a minor arterial street. I beg to differ. 11,200 cars a day, over 300,000 cars a month.
Yeah, okay, compared to
Not
what,
a
dude?
minor number. The first flaw I see is at the corner, the intersection of Chandler and Mill Streets. The southbound lane, as has been recently changed,
Guidance
is only
counselor from
9
King of the Hill
feet wide.
ass.
The standard 11-foot travel lane width per the Worcester official website is not met here. The turning angle is also acute.
I would love
It's
to have
not 90
been
degrees.
watch this guy trying to measure the road.
Any multiple axle vehicle that is trying to negotiate that turn from Chandler.
He's measuring it by low pony.
Severely
He just like lays down the street and whips his head and inside his head. It's 14 low ponies long.
They will have to jump the curb more often than not to try to make that turn.
I will say I have seen
Any
many
pedestrians
tractor
involved
trailers have a
put at
problem
risk
getting
also.
from Chandler to Mill Street. That is
Flaw
a tight
two,
turn, that left.
Just past Logan Field, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, another part of that.
Get rid of 'em.
intersection. There's only
The trucks?
one bike lane heading north.
Yeah.
The southbound bike
trucks.
lane only
Bikes.
starts about
Bike your
100
freight.
feet down at the exit from the CVS shopping complex. Flaw number two, just past Logan Field, there's a daycare center on the right-hand side.
Yeah, agreed.
It's a curve right there. You were expecting staff.
Pick a
and
side, Travis.
Parents and other,
This
adults
is
dropping
war.
off young children to this daycare.
All I
center.
said was trucks have
Park in
trouble
the middle
with that one turn.
road.
I like the road as is. I'm with
And then
Brendan.
Yeah,
on that.
toward what end, Travis?
A bike
Canceled.
I want a bike freight too.
to get to the curb, to get to the
No,
daycare
Travis
center.
is a tractor trailer driver. All of
That
a
to me
sudden.
is.
I
just
was. I'm a
nonsensical.
grandson of a tractor trailer
Flaw
driver.
number three, the parking lanes are too
Travis
narrow.
CDL Duda.
I went at cost of my own personal safety and measured.
You guys weren't supposed
some
to
of these
find out
parking
like
lanes.
this.
Oh
I had
my
a pickup
God.
truck
He did measure.
that takes up
No way.
84 inches of space. Mirrored
This
to
guy
mirror.
has a pickup truck. Can
I
you
also
believe it?
measured a small
Shocking.
sedan, takes up 8
Uh,
inches mirror to mirror.
Chevy
lanes are
Silverado.
anywhere from 89 to 92 inches wide. They're not even consistent, but think about it. So I
Are we
have maybe
appreciating that
2.5
ponytail?
to 5 inches when I step out of.
Bet his wife
my
is.
vehicle. Okay, the next factor is I open my door. My door happens to measure 35.
Why
inches.
does anyone
The
care?
sedan
dude?
measures 36 inches.
Can we wrap up your comments too, sir?
Well,
This is going to go to the committee anyways, the traffic
All
and parking.
people are going to have to step out into the travel lane, which is a death trap. But the worst flaw, as I say,
Not people with normal cars.
What are you going to do in the winter?
That's the thing that I've never been able to understand with their arguments, though. You always did, whether there was one lane or two lanes.
Plows are going to
Yeah, it doesn't
Like,
Right.
it wasn't a
Change it.
protected parking
Where
lane.
are we gonna
Like
throw the
it,
snow?
they just
Right.
moved where the parking
Right in the
is
travel
and
lane.
got rid of one lane. It's
right.
You are setting up.
a special kind of
Yeah, there was
entitled
no-
who actually
Really,
thinks you just
have
open your
copies
door to
here of
traffic.
All my comments, unfortunately, you're not allowing me to continue.
No, it goes into
I would
committee.
like to offer one.
He
copy
doesn't know
to
what
each
that
member,
means, Joe.
Clerk will come over
please.
and grab it.
And would
I had a
invite you
feeling that this
all
guy was
to
just
vote
going to
personally
start and he was
singularly
gonna he was gonna run into his 2
and
minutes.
Inspect these issues on the road yourself. You voted for this. And I would
No,
hope you
I
would
mean,
really consider the safety
Why?
aspects.
did they really vote on it though?
Thank you.
Like, this is just
And
like
the,
something that cities do. I don't
Chair
think
of
this
that
council
committee,
needed a vote.
sir, the chair of that committee will put on the December calendar.
I don't know what's more humiliating, the one hand clap
I haven't
or
had a
that it's
chance
Fred
to
Nathan.
make a motion, but I would like to file this order, and I would also like the city manager and myself to have the opportunity to speak on it.
Sure. We'll get to that in a minute.
He just said it's going to be on committee, and then Attell was like, "I'm going to file this."
Actually, I would have filed this shit.
My name's David Manasian from Worcester. I'm here to speak on 9.4a, just fully in support of the Responsible Developer Ordinance. It's been about a year-long process. It's been very collaborative. There's been a lot of input from industry experts. I think many of the council here have put in a lot of effort and time thinking about these issues. I think the Economic Development Committee has really dove into it, and as well as the Economic Development Office with Peter Dunn. I think this is a pro-development ordinance. I think it really
Peter, some 40 done.
improves upon the TIP policy that I think was passed in 2016.
Crap, I gotta
It's
make
an
that one.
ordinance that if you believe in responsible development,
You can
and you
comment
want it
through
to
the
be
Zoom.
an
It's
economic
complicated
development
though.
and community development.
You have to have
This
your
is
hand
heading in the right
raised, which if
direction.
you
I think it's a big step
computer is
forward for
easy,
the
but if you're
city,
doing it from the phone,
and I'm proud to put my support behind it, and I hope we can
pound
get it
the
done
pound
tonight.
9 or something like that. It's if you're just on the Zoom, their Zoom, then it's relatively easy.
What's your name, city residence, and item number?
Hello, my name is Erin Michelati, and I live in Worcester. Speaking on item AI, my experience with the new Mill Street bike lanes has been largely positive. Before the markings went down, I admittedly drove 40 miles an hour on Mill Street often. Now I'm driving 30 miles an hour, though it does feel faster.
What a fit.
Lanes. The difficulties I've encountered so far are
Yeah,
because
but
the
arrest her.
markings
She
aren't
admitted to driving.
I chose to purchase a home in West Hacknock because of its elementary school. I chose my neighborhood because I can picture walking a child to and from that elementary school. With these new bike lanes, I can now envision safely biking with my future children from my house all the way to Coes Park. Studies show that the bike lanes increase property values. According to one study, a bike lane within a quarter mile of a single family home translates to a nearly $700 premium. If density increases, it's a $4,000 premium. According to Realtor.com, when looking for a home,
That's the craziest thing about these cranks is it should be all they care about, right? Is like the value of their property.
I actually brought it up to them at that meeting, Bill. Like after the meeting was over, some of the people that were really angry, I'm like, look, some of you are talking about like selling your houses and whatnot because the neighborhood's changing. Like if you want to, I'm a real estate agent. And I could get you a hell of a lot more money when this is completed than you could have sold for last week. So just hold off till spring and yeah, look me up. We'll make this work for you.
Hi, my name is Chris Michelati, also of Worcester, following my better half. I drive down Mill Street very often, and I just want to speak in
in support of the bike lanes that we have put on that street. She says
R.I.P.
that she
Brian.
drives often there, but I'm the one that's typically driving, and I can say that I too
Lost
have
a real
noticed
one.
that my
We
speed
lost him.
has, in fact,
Brian, I'll never give you your capture card back
it feels
ever.
much safer.
Now that you
The
can't
only
hear that, but I
problems
told
I
you.
have noticed on the
So
street so far, other than the lines not being finished,
I still need to figure out how to do that. I could be playing Rocket League right now.
not wanting to follow the new rules.
Yeah, we really need to figure that out.
I feel that.
I mean, I have a
when we were
PS5. It should be
talking about doing
easy.
these lines earlier, there was a lot of discussion about having police enforcement.
Humble brag, also,
to
by the
pay
way.
attention to
I got a
speeds.
PS5.
You gotta flex.
I
You gotta
don't
flex
know-
on
I don't
that.
see a reason why we
I
can't
got a PS5. I'm playing Baldur's Gate 3.
or large signs.
Did you say you're playing
blocking off
bocce?
these
Baldur's
new
Gate 3.
parking
Oh.
lanes so that people
Shadowheart's my
can
girlfriend.
be
You know,
further educated, and
Congratulations.
life's going pretty good.
better.
Don't let Katie know.
Other than that, just again, I really
Oh, Katie has a boyfriend, Halson.
these lanes, and I would like to see them finished.
Respect. How modern are you guys?
We're polyamorous in the Baldur's Gate universe.
My name is Sue Mailman from Worcester, and I'm also on the
We have a
school committee.
polycule.
I appreciate the obvious increased recognition of the value and importance of apprenticeship. But I want to point out, by going to a percent hours of the job model, I'm disappointed that we fail to recognize the value of each trade. We don't have one trade in our vocational schools. We have many trades in our vocational schools. It's not just Worcester Tech, it's also Assabet, Monty. All the regional schools are where we draw tradespeople from. To me, this is a chicken and the egg thing. I think you got the votes, and I think you're going to get it. And congratulations to Mr. Dunn. But I hope that we continue with this
What's the sticker
thoughtful
that they're all
process
wearing?
of really doing what we're going to talk about, which is attaching jobs.
It's got to be some sort of labor thing.
We have, and we have not been serious about
Some
that
sort of
as
woke
a
bullshit.
responsibility.
We probably like
woke
bike
bullshit.
lanes.
Chicken and the egg.
Yeah.
If we recruit, retain apprentices and include
It's
all
like
trades,
support bike lanes and other woke shit
and
like
percentage requirements by
minimum
Air.
wage.
Remember, we talked about this last time, we create exceptions for WBEs
Fucking
and
losers like
MBEs
Air.
or anybody that isn't impacted, not the reverse. I just think that makes so much more sense. Requiring all trades to be members of a registered apprenticeship can be monitored at the beginning of the job. This recommendation means we can't monitor till the end of the job, which is probably somewhat purposeful. But if we're 50% through the job, how are we going? Somebody's going to say, "Oh, we'll get the hours at the end," and we're not going to really be able to monitor the way we could if we used the other methods. So I'd encourage us to think about this. We have a slowdown. I don't think we have a TIF in the pipeline right now. So we've missed the opportunity. We've missed the window. We're going to be ready when work kicks up again. So that's cool. But we should think about this stuff for all public construction, encourage all publicly supported construction. This also influences private development. And I was on Mill Street today and the traffic was way slower. So thank you.
Thank you.
Wow, the Mill Street Cranks are getting the shit kicked out of them. I got a little tally going. We're at 4-2 right now.
I am the
Just Fred,
president of
Nathan, and John Dick.
Trade Association based in Air, and this might be a time when
Woke.
merit shops and union folks agree somewhat.
Lowest annual
Regarding
income
the
someone needs to get a house.
proposed TFI ordinance,
It's a great
we
question. I
have
mean,
need
it's
more
because
opportunities for apprentices.
there's no like one house price, right? I mean, like especially on the
fill out
condo
your
side too.
required
If you're willing to
changes
look
to
at
the
like
law,
2-bedroom condos and some of the nicer, older complexes that we have, they're still actually pretty affordable.
Improvement over the earlier draft that created a mandate. I believe Mr.
100 grand.
Talks about the impediments.
I'll
of that,
answer.
so I won't get into
Nah, I
it.
mean, well, let me do some like. Again, it depends what you consider affordable.
Yeah, I bought a house with
So that means
$8,000
the city to set
down,
goals as it currently does for
what, 10
residents,
years ago?
minority
But I had
women,
first-time home buyer,
with
and I
full-time loyal
paid
employees.
through the
Merit
nose
shops do their
for
level best to meet the goals.
uh,
These hiring goals are
whatever that
sometimes
shit's
asking
called.
the impossible of merit shops. Would you
Insurance.
I think that's the important thing to keep in mind too. Some of the like what Travis says, like
20%. Yeah, what's that called, Brendan?
well, the first-time homebuyers programs that are out there from the federal government are usually around 3%, and you can usually get a lot knocked off of that.
As a goal, disadvantages small businesses including minority and women-owned contractors.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's kind of what I mean. Like, you would have to see, like,
Apprentice programs.
you're looking to buy a
Contractors who do
$5
not
million
perform
house?
public work. They may have an apprentice program, but it is not.
I
required
am.
to
I have my
be
sights
complete
dead
to do the
set
private
on
work,
this
which is
1960s
a condition in this
cocaine
ordinance.
palace up off of Flag Street. It's one of those like one. It's like it was on the market for $2 million a couple months ago, and I was like, that's the
Good
perfect
evening.
house.
My
I
name
would
is Dave
love to buy.
Mulcahy. I'm a
Like all
Worcester
green tile on the inside. It has one of those depressed living rooms.
Vice President.
You know what I mean?
Worcester TIF
It's like an
ordinance,
Art Deco design. Oh, it's so
9.4A.
gorgeous.
I apologize.
It's like something you
No.
see in like, the Hollywood Hills.
Well designed.
Just to respond, the people who qualify for first-time homebuyer assistance, like
Finding and
that's a
attracting
part of your mortgage.
projects that
That's
advance the interest of Worcester is crucial. These projects should be model examples of how we grow and create careers. And when I say careers, I mean true careers.
All right, this guy's
within
too
the city's
charismatic. I'm out of here.
workforce, not just a one-time job opportunity. And when we talk about
Travis is a face queen. Gotcha.
that doesn't matter if it's on the private or public side.
There's
When we talk
a
about
limit of white guys on
opportunity,
camera.
That doesn't matter if it's on the private or public side. That does not matter if that's on the union, non-union side. What matters is
chill,
opportunity.
dude, chill.
What matters is training. What matters is safety. That's what we're
They're talking about mid-century modern houses
Although
again.
we would like to see.
I know.
the
I gotta
word
find a
requirement
link for that. It
in
was
this
so
proposed
gorgeous.
language.
so
I
that's
believe there are
what you're.
many
I think you're
groups
talking about is the city program, and
recognize
that's
the
different
hard
than
work
the federal
and
program
economic
for first-time
development
homeowners.
committee
Like
has
so,
done.
the FHA program
It's greatly
for
appreciated.
first-time home buyers.
And we are
If it's
hopeful
your
this
primary
will move
residence,
forward
that's a
tonight.
substantially lower down payment, which gets you to the point where you probably don't need down payment assistance. The reason that they're not always easy to work through is because those mortgages take a fair amount of time to actually get through. And in a really hot real estate market, a lot of buyers just want to get it done as quickly as possible. So cash buyers go first, traditional mortgages go second, FHA gets in the back of the line. Same thing with, anyone's using like GI Bill or whatnot as well too. They tend to take a little bit longer to process, and home buyers that just want to wash their hands of it, they
It's a little weird.
want to get it done quick.
Are there any laws about this in a city
And
council?
I've thrown this out before. If anyone has like questions about home buying, like don't ever hesitate to reach out. Like no strings. I don't care if you work with me or not. Like I genuinely love nerding out about this stuff. And I think sometimes people are shocked at as how many programs and options there are to purchase houses.
Responsible keeping an eye on this and making sure that
Can I
We're having
purchase
this conversation.
He shed?
kind of a bit of a problem.
You will be soon if we get if we get Mo out of the room for long enough tonight.
I'd love to rent but own an ADU. Right?
Yes,
Like
I can
keep
help
a
with
rent somewhere,
rentals
But
as
I
well.
have, but I own an ADU.
Planned properly, but also the people who originally planned it did a really good job.
Bill, you can have an ADU on in our backyard if you want.
Dude, that'd be so sick. Just
whatever
have my little
discussions happen
clubhouse.
later, to be based
You would
on
regret that so fast, dude.
how many bikers
Hell
we've
no.
seen before they added bike
I got a big backyard. It's fine. I won't even notice you back there.
Kevin Cassen, I'm a resident here in Worcester. Tonight I'm here as part of the Carpenters Union. The first time I remember being before this body to speak about TIFs was back in 2003. And that was when we got rid of the fire station downtown. And actually at that point headed in the wrong direction. That was the whole Skybridge fiasco a lot of us remember and the lawsuit that played out there.
Love the Skybridge.
We've all come back to this room every few years to look at TIF policies and TIFs. And it's actually, I would say, probably one of the best processes we've had in the city in terms of pulling in different voices, arguing things out. We all remember the difficulties we had with trying to get to Fight for 15 and Table Talk a few years ago. But we got a TIF policy in place, and today we're here to pass an ordinance. Like that's a big step for us. So I think we all recognize that we're a changing city. We're seeing all this development happening around the city. And so
Don't tell Mo that.
just to sit down and say, how can we update this policy?
Wow, there's like no
recognize that moving
houses
it
for sale in
forward is
Worcester.
just an absolute must at this point. I think a lot of the speakers have said we're moving in the right direction. I want to echo that.
It's not a ton. Yeah, it's like mid-50s right now.
That this has been a thoughtful process. I want to agree with that. I think we're at a point where getting this passed is just essential. And I'm glad to do this without the filibuster and the dissension between us. So thank you.
Next speaker.
Idella Hazard, City of Worcester. It's all been
One
said
White Claw deep. Thank you very much.
when it was first brought to the council. It made sense then.
A little bit
Kids
more, but
come
not
out
a
of school,
ton.
They go to college. Kids come out of tech school. It makes sense. Apprenticeship. So this policy, it will work. It works. And everybody that came before me said it a heck of a lot more elegantly than I can. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, mic drop.
That's what.
Good evening, everyone. Fred Taylor, Worcester resident, a representative of the Carpenters Union. I'm also the president of the Worcester branch NAACP. I'm here tonight to talk about item 9A, and I want to echo a lot of stuff that was said by my colleagues and other people in the community about the responsible development ordinance. I am very pleased to see this. I personally worked with a lot of folks to help push this forward. Kevin gave a little bit of history. The first TIF policy was passed in 2016, and it wasn't a perfect policy when it was passed, like anything. And we found out that there were some things that need to be fixed with the policy. One of the things is to change the policy to an ordinance. So I'm really glad that it appears that we have some support with changing the policy to an ordinance. And more importantly, the name is very important. What's important to a lot of us here at City Hall today is a responsible development ordinance. We wanted a TIF ordinance, but a responsible development ordinance really says what we really would like to see here in the city of Worcester. This process was very good. Peter Dunn did a really good job, and the Economic Development Committee reaching out to the subject matter experts and talking with a lot of us about what would work best for the construction industry and what would be best for the city of Worcester, the city councils, and the residents. So I just want to say here tonight that I'm pleased, and I'm really happy to hear that this is being brought before the city council. And I'd like to thank you all in advance for voting for this. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you. Okay, seeing nobody else, is everybody online?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We do have a few call-in users online.
Hang on for 1 second, we get one more here. What's your name, say your residence?
Good evening, Thomas Maloney, Worcester, Mass. Business manager for the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Worcester, Mass. I just want to speak to the 94A with regard to apprenticeship, registered apprenticeship.
Whoa, cool jacket, dude.
Perspective on this. I would like the city to be compliant to receive some of the federal funding that's going to come down the pipeline. The CHIPS Act, the PRO Act, the Inflation Reduction Act, all of those things require that we have registered apprenticeship in place. As a union, we report to the Department of Labor. The Department of Labor takes our reports and establishes a prevailing wage. And it's our wage to prevail as it sets the prevailing wage. And the union apprenticeship is part and parcel to all of those wages that are coming down from the Department of Labor. So there's that piece of it, and the part that I'd like to see the city in compliance with the ask of the federal government on the CHIPS Act and carbon capture projects that should be coming our way. We need to have registered apprenticeships for all of that. So that was what I wanted to share with you as far as the apprenticeship, and I applaud everyone that's a part of that. So thank you. Also, being on Mill Street, and you've all been to my union hall, sometimes it's tough to pull out of there. Right next to us, we have that beautiful bowling alley that's now a daycare center. Okay, so there's a lot of thought has to be given into speeding traffic at that point. We have the dance studio right next to us as one of our tenants, Jagir's Dance Studio. And I got to think that with all the parents dropping off kids and picking up children, that we've done the right thing as far as slowing down the traffic. And I can finally pull in and out of my union hall, and you can too. Thank you.
Thank you. Sir.
Good evening, everyone. James Arthur. I am the training director with Local 96 on Mill Street. Been up here a couple times just speaking, and I'm here to speak on 9.4A, the adoption of the Responsibility Development Ordinance. I think it's a great start. Been up here a couple times. I think you guys have seen me before. I deal with apprentices on a daily basis. So this is exciting.
This guy looks like he had to kick the shit out of Patrick Swayze in Roadhouse.
Manager, you're up our apprenticeship. I saw you speak at lunchtime. Thank you for showing up to that. You know, pre-apprenticeship, apprentice, all the talk. So this is a good way to get going. So I am in much favor of supporting this effort, and then hopefully we can continue going forward. So thank you.
Thank you. Nico?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
What's up, Bill?
First
Am I on?
Yeah,
man.
Yeah, you're here.
What the fuck?
Resident now.
I tried to go on Zillow and it fucked all my shit up. My browser just completely stopped working the stream. So I'm never going to find that house, but it's okay.
You're a resident, and I'm here to speak about item 8I.
I love a sunken living
I
room.
am here to speak in full
A
support.
conversation
So
pit.
good. Yeah. Do you see that the Cabinet of Curiosities?
Of the striping work.
No,
short?
no. I haven't watched it, no.
There's one that takes place exclusively in a sunken living room that the director of Mandy did. And it's wicked good. Eric Andre's in it.
So I won't repeat the details that Mr.
What's that guy's name?
said well, but I guess just
From
Mandy director?
Mandy?
restriping is
I
about
can't remember.
reducing safety.
Yeah.
I'm taking an overly wide roadway that encourages speeding and bringing it down to what's needed for vehicles.
Panos
And in doing this, the
Cosmatos.
city applied a best
Oh, wow. I
practice
was never going to get that.
first location in Worcester, but it's widely used across the U.S. and around the world. And I just want to note that I
think he has a slight accent.
modes, including my kids went to a daycare and to the preschool under the previous owner. So I do have used it, using the traffic and having it be.
Was that guy who the union guy, was he against Mill Street or for it?
I'm excited to see
For
the
it.
city
For it.
taking this step to
Oh,
use its
okay.
annual transportation dollars from the state to improve safety and provide opportunity to travel more safely.
So by my count, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 speakers in favor of the Mill Street
This is something that can be
redesign. 2 opposed.
meaningfully around the city. And just want to note,
I might be missing one of the opposed. Might be 3.
Yeah. John Dick's too big.
There are a lot of people.
Too big. He's too big for the lane.
John Dick's too big. He can't fit, and he measured.
He measured.
Folks. They say it's not safe to do that, but I did it. I measured, and I can't fit.
Reallocation did. And that the striping changes do appear to be working as intended.
I think
was
it's
brought
only
up
2
with
opposed
the
so far.
homeowner, and she wasn't.
It was just John Dick and Fred
completely
Nathan.
satisfied with how the rollout, sort of the communication
2
had
dicks,
gone,
1
but
bike
she
lane.
I was
stepped
gonna
in.
say we could probably call Fred Dick.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
John
2
Dick.
dicks, 1 bike lane. That's my headline for tomorrow's post, everybody.
John Dick and Dick Fred. Dick Fred. John Dick is a widespread. Yeah.
Hi, thank you very much for the opportunity to speak.
John
I'm
Duck?
speaking today on the
Travis.
Mill Street issue.
Travis.
I live
What
not
side
too
are you
far in
on,
the West
brother?
Atlantic neighborhood and do use Mill Street very frequently and have been paying close attention to the rollout and noticed how since the lines have started to be painted, that it has been very clear what the traffic patterns are. And as that is completed, I imagine that'll be even easier for people to follow.
God,
and
Walter
better
Bird watching
understand the
him eat
expectations
shit
for
on
safety
this.
there. Having lived in Worcester for many years, I know that our streets are very outdated and dangerous. You know, we have the infamous Worcester left where you have to sort of wait for the green light and hope somebody will let you go. And we know that our city is increasing in population. And, I'm very
That's not what a Worcester
enthusiastic
left
about
is, though.
the city's focus on road safety for not just car users, but others using different modes of transportation, wheelchairs, bikes, walking.
There's a couple of red
riding.
lights downtown
So
that
I'm really
I'll just
grateful
call
to
an audible
professionals
on
at
and
the
run.
helm in the city for working with their expertise and experience to
Like,
try
I just
to
personally don't agree that this needs to be here. You know, I just run it.
any user.
A sovereign citizen, and I don't agree with this.
Yeah.
And,
Well, hey,
having
I've been going
personally
St.
met with a
Vincent's a
number
lot
of you
lately.
in the city council.
You know, there's just a couple red lights down in that area.
Dude.
We lost a man who was killed
You don't need
while
to
walking
follow.
Also, no one's there. You should be able to do whatever you want downtown. No one's around.
Exactly. Well, that's what I'm saying. Is there's no one there. You know, look left, look right. I'm not waiting for 2 minutes
I'm a
to
huge
turn by the
proponent
post
of
office.
It's a
I'm just
suggestion.
going.
traffic safety
It's a
redesigns
guideline. It's not a hard and
anything
fast
to slow
rule,
traffic
a red
down
light.
and make it a little bit more accessible, which I absolutely believe has been happening on Mill Street. And I look forward to seeing other projects come into
Yeah, I mean, the
works
Massachusetts
and
left
other
is when
ways that we
you
can,
pull out of a
you know,
parking
benefit
lot
the entirety of the
across
city and make it a safer
a
place
lane that
altogether.
is open and you force the other lane to let you out by just blocking traffic.
Yeah, I wish
That's
I
what
loved
Massachusetts left. Yeah.
And then you pull out, and if someone yells at you, you just you tell them to fuck off. And like, what are you in a hurry?
Great.
Yeah,
My name is
it's
Jim.
awesome.
I'm a Worcester resident, and I would like to speak on items 8I and 10A. On 8I, I think the restriping on Mill Street is a great idea, and it's going very well. And I'm
What
very
a
glad
tough
to
night
see
for
that this
Walter
city
Burke.
is allowing
I can't wait to
our
tweet this
professional
at him.
staff
The count.
do
This
their
is
jobs and do them well. And
1,
I
2,
really
3,
hope that we
4,
see
5,
more of
6,
these
7, 8
projects
for
throughout the
2.
city. Increasing connectivity for our bike lanes and improving safety through traffic calming and allowing people to get around by whatever modes of travel they choose to use is fantastic. I really, truly hope to see more of it in the future. And on 10A, I just would like to express my very strong support for the planning board's recommendations as far as accessory dwelling units. They considered the issue very, very carefully. And I think their conclusions are fantastic. We need more housing in the city, and adding a tool to the proverbial toolbox for how that's going to happen into the future can only be a positive.
Don't tell me what to do, Jack.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, the next speaker is Jenny DeRoche. I'm going to try to meet the resident now.
Has Jack has
Hi, can you hear
Joe
me?
Petty reached out to you yet?
Okay. So I have a couple of items that I want to
Jenny.
speak on. Jenny DeRoche. I'm in the Newton Square area. On 8I Mill Street, I'm super glad to see it happening. I can't wait to see more projects like this happening. And I'm very glad that the cones that went missing have been returned to their proper location. They were found and put back. So good job on the city for finding those.
Good job, Jacob.
One of the things that really has been concerning me about this project is the response I'm seeing online to it. I manage a number of Facebook groups, and some of the posts and comments that I've seen have had people saying things like they are purposefully going to drive in the parking lane and purposefully drive in the bike lane because they don't want to adhere to the new traffic pattern. Just flat out blatantly saying this. So I think that both getting the rest of the paintwork done and perhaps some
Guys,
increased
look at this house.
enforcement
I'm posting it in
presence
the
while
comments.
people are adjusting
'Cause I can do
may
that.
be helpful just to make sure that people are actually adhering to the new lines.
Oh,
If
Asbury Road. I love it.
If we raise me just $1 million, I can live in this house.
This extended
We can do
period
this
of,
together.
not having them there
Wow, green stairs.
delaying is
Absolutely
causing more
gorgeous, dude.
confusion and problems than anything else.
Turn it into the Wootenanny Film House.
And this is something that I think
Dude,
the
it's
city
like
needs to have
fucking
across the board with contractors and road work is making sure
Roman
that happens in a
Polanski
timely
would live in this
fashion.
house. You know what I mean?
But that's not on this.
We call it
The other
the
items are
Worcestery Council
10A
Theatre
on ADUs. I'm really
Party
looking forward to
House,
seeing further discussion on
and then
this.
eventually
just
become
trash
the become the Worcestery Council Theatre Murder House.
The ability for FHA mortgage qualification.
All those
to now
mid-century
take
moderns
into
on
account
Aylesbury
potential
are
rental
incredible.
income from an
There's a whole
ADU
bunch
So
of like that one.
qualifying.
There's a bunch of
also
houses
includes
that were built around the same time. I don't know who the architects were, but like
constructing the ADUs.
it's. I'm not saying that like they're worth that
beneficial
kind of money,
thing.
but like
I'm looking
the
forward to,
construction is clearly
on
like a
that.
different kind of
And then
construction,
on
like the wood
9.4A,
floors, the staircases and whatnot. It's not
adding
stuff
the
that just a
apprentices
normal
show
contractor can
requirement
throw
is
up.
fantastic, but I hope that Sue Mailman and others
Yeah, I
comments
don't
are taken
know what
forward
the
for
story is
tools for
behind it,
program
but
to work
like
best,
those are pretty
especially the
special
ability
houses.
to check
Like,
in and monitor over
Yeah.
the course of the project, not just at the end of it. We saw how much that bit us when they were working on Polar Park, and I really hope that
So,
we can focus on
Let's see if I
making
can
sure that
find
people are adhering to
info.
these types
That
of project design,
neighborhood.
not just at the end. Thank you.
over there has actually a number of like historic mid-century modern homes.
Jessica, that's going to be the dildo house.
Dildo house.
Dildo house. Dildo house.
Your name is for your residence?
There we go. Ted Kana, City of Worcester. I'd also like to speak to 8I. I am a cyclist and I ride my bike all over the city. And I've for a long time thought that it makes perfect sense to protect the bike lane with parked cars rather than force the cyclist to ride between the parked cars and the traffic as I do when I come down Main Street. In that situation, a driver can get out of the car, the cyclist can get hit by the car,
Great job,
thrown
Yanni.
into traffic,
Oh
and
yeah, great
in
job,
worst case,
Yanni.
killed. So that's not safe at all. So I'm happy to see these changes on Mill Street. And I was over there last week and I rode on it, and I think it's great for cyclists. It's much safer. It's great for pedestrians because it's going to get the cyclist off the sidewalk.
We really need to
It's
do this.
great
This
for
could be
slowing
Bill's
down
office.
traffic. There's one concern I
Oh,
have.
The $1 million house.
Should be looked at.
Wow.
We've basically
Can you
divided
imagine?
a bicycle lane to the right and a single lane of travel to the left, and then there's a large buffer zone down the middle where the parked cars
We just need to
go.
figure out a way to sue the city.
What I would suggest is rather than the way it's painted out, you've got the parked cars right up against the lane of travel.
I'll just get beat up by a cop.
Between
Perfect.
the parking space and the
It's eventually going to happen anyways.
Right. Well, I'll make sure I'll do it in a way that I can get
anywhere
some.
in the buffer zone.
Yeah.
So that the driver may not even have a passenger.
Your Honor,
The driver
the
doesn't
spokesman
wanna
for the
open
Worcester
the
Housing
door and
Authority
have to get out
annoyed me
into
so
the
much that my
only
brain
lane of
melted.
travel.
Money, please.
And even if there is a passenger, as a cyclist, I know to watch out for doors, and I can, if I'm going by a parked car, I'm going to be hugging the curb and staying clear of that anyway. So that's my one concern, and I think it could simply be resolved by, letting people park anywhere in that buffer zone. And, if they're a little bit into the hashed area, but they're staying out of the travel lanes for both the bike and the car, that's good to go. Don't ticket them for that. So those are my suggestions. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Mr. Mayor, the next speaker is Tazia Lorenzo. Cerezo, I'm sorry. I'm trying to meet the resident now.
Hi, my name is Tasia Cerezo. I'm a resident of Worcester and a co-founder of Merrill Safe Haven, a nonprofit in the city. I speak in support of 13A. Merrill Safe Haven started in January of this year. From January to today, I have met with many people in the city of Worcester providing shelter, also some of the politicians, connectors, and funders throughout the city, actually throughout the state. In my journey, I have also come across property owners, many not interested in the possibility of working with quote unquote those people, and others interested in knowing more about how such programs can exist and be managed by organizations with experience providing support to shelter families. These individuals are really hard to find and come across in the city. As an organization who first began by looking to subcontract with organizations to help fill the shelter need in the city.
Tough night for John
with the
Dick.
state to provide emergency
Yeah, it didn't work out
assistance
well.
to families. We're interested in partnering with landlords to not only help.
That was one of the
educate,
more interesting
but to provide support
anecdotes because it
to
related
the
directly to
homeless
Walter that
population
came up from
to
the Mill
create
Street meeting
opportunities
last
for them
week.
to
That
also
his
get back on their feet. Thank you.
the guy he was using as an example of how unsafe the street was. It was unprompted. The police officer that was there brought up that the person who was hit on Mill Street was intoxicated and running around the street, the middle of the street at the time they were hit, was not something that they would consider a normal pedestrian accident. So Walter's star witness is
That's
off the
so
table.
sick. He literally tried to blame Patel for
Andrew
that guy
Piazza,
getting hit.
Worcester resident, and I want to speak to the Mill Street issue. So I agree with all the previous comments about the cyclists, wheelchairs, and other road users that the Mill Street redesign will benefit. And I don't want to just put out there that, every time I get the chance, I like to put this statistic out there that of the 200 largest cities in the United States, if we were to rank best drivers to worst drivers, according to all state data that they collect, the insurance company. Worcester ranks number 197 out of 200 in terms of being almost the city with the worst drivers.
We did it.
This is when you compare to Los Angeles, New York City, Miami, Atlanta, all the different cities. And so speaking of car drivers,
we are 197.
when I
We are
moved to Worcester
197.
from Millbury, my insurance rates went up 40%. Last week, I got my renewal for my insurance policy. It went up another 75%. It almost doubled.
Oh.
So I'm counting on my city councilors to address this problem of affordability that will impact everyone in the city. And so I just want to speak in support of the Mill Street redesign. This will also save car drivers money, make it safer to drive cars, but also I agree with all the other benefits that everybody's spoken about. Thank you.
Thank you. Is that it?
Yep,
Okay,
sorry, that
close
concludes-
this part of the meeting. All set? Okay,
All right,
we're
by
back
my
to the
count, that
schedule.
was-
We're going 7A to 7C. We're gonna
11 people in favor of the bike
open the
lanes,
hearing.
2
Roll
people
call.
against.
Council Bergman. Council
Tweeting at
Foley,
Walter right now.
GA. Council King.
Yes.
Council Member Carlson.
Yes.
Council Nguyen.
Yes.
Council Rivera.
Yes.
Council Rose.
Yes.
Council Russell.
Yes.
Council Toomey.
Yes.
And Mayor Petty.
Yes. Anybody oppose any items on the, seeing nobody opposed, motion is to close the hearing and adopt collectively. Roll call.
Council Bergman.
Yes.
Council Calorio.
Yes.
Council GA.
Yes.
Council King.
Yes.
Council Member Carlson.
Yes.
Council Nguyen.
Yes.
Council Rivera.
Yes.
Council Rose. Yes. Council Russell.
Yes.
Council Toomey.
Yes.
And Mayor Petty.
Yes, next we have some petitions. 8A, motion is going to refer to the planning board. 8B, refer to Public Works.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to sign on to AB.
8B, okay.
Chairman.
So, you want to speak on it, Council?
Just briefly, I'd just like to amend it to, I wanted to amend AB for the, also, as opposed to just saying bringing the UMass Medical School to Worcester, I'd like to add, and the Biomed Park for Senator Foley. Yeah, it was instrumental in both of those.
So we'll take 8A, 8B as amended.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
can I sign on to that also?
sure.
Is he in Mo's car?
8A,
Is Christian in Mo's car?
8B as
He looks like
amended.
he's in a movie theater.
8C, 8G through 8G.
He's
and
seeing
8H,
Thanksgiving.
December 5th, 2023 at 6:30 PM. Roll call.
Council Bergman.
Yes.
Council Calorio.
Yes.
Council GA.
Yes.
Council King.
Yes.
Council Member Carlson.
Yes.
Council Nguyen.
Yes.
Council Rivera.
Yes.
Council Rose.
Yes.
Council Russell.
Yes.
Council Toomey.
Yes.
And Mayor Petty.
Yes. 8I, request City Council to hold a discussion concerning the changes to Mill Street and the safety implication of the aforesaid changes to the road. Councilor Haji.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Let me just start by saying that I am confident that the staff, the Commissioner Rowley, Assistant Director Todd Corain, and everybody that has been hired under that department haven't been hired to harm, hurt, or not follow legal rules as established by the federal government, which dictate the design and the implementation of these projects. So I mentioned that to say that it feels really unfair to insinuate that those folks through this design haven't followed the appropriate rules and regulations. Secondly, I would like to give the public who's listening, as well as give the city manager an opportunity to update us on where currently this project stands. And I would like, through you, Mr. Chair, if the city manager could give us an update as to where the project stands right now.
Mr. Manager?
Through the chair to the councilor, right now, we understand and know that we haven't finished the line paintings. Right now, we're expected to, if weather permitting on Friday, continue the work. Right now, the painting is all dependent on weather. It needs to have 40 degrees or higher to be able to paint these lines. And so we're expecting that Friday we may have an increase in weather. If that doesn't work, we're expected to paint the lines with a different material, a more temporary material happening next week. So the hope is that in the next week, by Friday, if not this Friday, next week, we'll have the lines painted in the finished product.
Thank you, Mr. Manager. So I just want to repeat that the lane markings, what's remaining unpainted on Mill Street will be completed in the next few days by Friday, weather permitting. And we do have a plan in place for mitigating that if that doesn't happen, if the weather doesn't allow us to. But I also want to mention for my colleagues as well as the public listening that we, meaning myself, the city manager, the Department of Transportation and Mobility staff, have been engaging with the residents and have been receiving a ton of feedback, have been responding to emails. And currently we convened a meeting through the Mill Street Neighborhood Association last Thursday where the city manager attended, Councilor Nguyen attended, Councilor King attended to update residents of Mill Street on the, not only on the timeline of the project, also reminding folks and all of us here why we started this project in the first place, and updating residents on the communication methods throughout which we have consistently tried to spread and disseminate information. So I just want to make sure that folks understand that there are flyers that were passed out at that meeting. The DTM staff have gone flyering businesses as well as residents. We have received invitations and offers from
making an in-house pizza tonight.
Understand this
nice.
I have been engaging with residents, responding to
The
emails.
process is starting now. I prepped the vegetables, and now Katie's making the pizza.
I understand very
We're going to review this.
It's very hard.
Peppers, onions, mushrooms.
Oh, the George Russell.
The Russell special, just no sausage.
That doesn't mean that this project is not right.
Homemade crust, or did you guys buy a crust?
We bought it though.
Some of the statistics that pushed this project.
We bought a market basket though.
Stretching dough is still homemade.
In the last 5 years. That's higher.
Well, yeah, pretty much.
8 crashes, including bikes and pedestrians. These are not.
It ain't no
statistics
boble.
that don't have people behind them. I was elected to serve the residents and protect the residents of my district. The number one issue I have heard about the Speedway, formerly called Speedway of Mill Street, was safety. Was the safety of the children at the daycare center? Was the safety of the residents that travel on Mill Street?
You got me thinking
residents
about
from
the
city that
video I
use that
saw about where a
roadway?
guy made
And so
a
this
mozzarella stick
project
pizza.
provides
Now that's all I
a
want.
roadmap to how we make our streets safer for everybody. People in
Wow.
a wheelchair, bikers, walkers, pedestrians, and motorists.
Got a nice
So this
market
isn't
basket
just
brand
about the bike lanes.
4-cheese
This is
blend.
about creating complete streets, something that this council
Oh,
unanimously
I could eat a whole thing of
voted
anchovies
on
right out
a
of the
few
can.
years ago. So I
don't like them on pizza, but I don't mind them as a thing.
an easy change. The
And a
manager
Caesar
takes
salad.
responsibility
Yeah.
for the miscommunications in the beginning. Thank you so much for coming to my neighborhood meeting and being
God,
accessible to residents.
just nobody. That Worcester Guardian piece about how long it takes people to respond to emails was one of the craziest things I've ever read. It was so stupid. I can't even bring myself to write about it in the newsletter, clowning on
Say
it.
that I don't
It's just
support
that it's
this
too
project.
dumb.
I have no problem having discussions with people. In fact, I have made myself available to folks who agree with this project, to people who have offered to get the entire community to understand that this is
Ooh.
how we make
Wow,
progress. in
Paul,
Worcester. This is
that is
how
a
we make
that is a
change
good pizza
for our
order right
children
there.
and for everybody who uses our roads. So
Old
yes, there
school.
are lessons learned in terms of how we communicate and engage the residents.
Yeah, tell it to me. This is
I don't find this item going to
Chantel's doing a great job. I just can't. I can't deal with the Mill Street shit anymore. You know?
entirely because we have been going to residents, we have been engaging with the folks on Mill Street and others to explain.
What is Papa George's like now? I haven't been since
feedback. So I would like to
they sold it.
I make a motion to file this project with this order, this petition, with the understanding that we are not stopping this work. In fact, one of the things that both the Transportation and Mobility Department staff said is that they're committed to going back, even in the spring, just checking in with residents, getting feedback. The city manager offered to receive.
There's going to be a split
streamline
vote on this
every
filing, probably.
concern that comes from residents. We're doing
Fuck.
everything in
I
our
hate this.
power
I
to
hate
make
these people.
sure that
This
not a
this
single
dynamic is not
person
going to change
dies
at
on our
all for the
street,
next 2
just
years.
like little
That's
Candace
so depressing to
died
think about.
on Stafford Street. And lastly, the transportation, the new Secretary of Transportation came to our Memorial Day that we held this past Sunday to commemorate the lives of those that were lost due to road crashes. She came and she spoke about the importance of this project in our city. The Transportation Secretary of Massachusetts came here with her daughter, with her 5-year-old daughter, to say, yes, Worcester, go ahead and make these changes and we have your back. DA Early was there to talk about enforcement. The police department have offered their support. The fire department have been involved. I get it, there's going to be a lot more questions and concerns, but we are all trying our best to make sure that at the end of the day, not a single soul and not a single person dies on Mill Street. And so I urge the city council members,
That's
my
fucked up.
colleagues, to support
That's
the
a
city manager
that's a
and
chopped
I,
cheese.
to support the
It's
work
just taco
that's
meat.
ongoing. You are more than
That's
welcome
fucked
to come
up,
to
dude.
any neighborhood meetings that we've been holding.
Although I
share
try it.
the responses we've been giving to
And
every
listen,
single
put
person that has emailed me,
just
that
go
has
all the
emailed
way,
me,
make it a chopped cheese, and I'm
that is
I'll say,
down.
call it what it is, and yeah.
the Transportation and Mobility Department. Thank you.
Council Rivera.
Oh, we're all speaking on this. Fuck.
Yeah, I just want to say, I don't want to comment in
God
regards
damn
to
it,
the
I-
district because I feel like my colleague has handled
I
that
mean,
really
I-
well. I
I'm
really
sure-
want to
I'm
thank
sure
the
what it tells
administration
is
for all the
fine. I'm
work,
just-
and
I
just a little
cannot.
bit of into the meeting. I just wanted to
Yeah.
speak upon the issue of the importance of the complete street. So this was actually unanimously voted on this council. This was an order that I brought forward.
Is she in a bathroom?
Some time ago, and the importance of this in relation to our
That would
city and the
be
importance
all-time
as we grow
iconic
as a
city council posting.
We've been working for years. As
You're on
chair
the
of
John.
as one of the
Type it in
lowest
for a comment no one asked for
development
while
and
you're also
of
shitting.
public safety. The complete streets was crucial, right? It
Doesn't
was
that
really
perfectly
part of really
describe what
looking
we're
at how we
doing?
were looking at issues
Yeah. I should just start doing deep streams with like a little desk in front of the toilet. I just
again,
don't
this
get
was
off the toilet the entire
unanimously
time.
voted on the council floor because we
I
saw the
think that's the
importance of how
background for
this
the news
really
show.
was important for our residents, for the health
Ding 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 ding
and
ding ding
wellness
ding
of our
ding.
community.
We make
So
a sound out of a
change
spoon
is
hitting the
never,
metal pipe underneath the toilet.
easy.
Oh yeah, ding
I've
ding ding
had
ding
the
ding 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 ding.
opportunity of visit other locations.
This just
where
in: the poop came out of the bowl today. Very proud of that.
part of the infrastructural norm of a community. If
Or
you
out of the
come
water, rather. You know what I
Palo
mean.
Alto in California, it is like, or in many parts of kind of this region, the complete streets are just amazing. And
Wow,
how,
we only have to hear Soraya Rivera talk like 3 more times, 4 more times.
accessibility is just, it's very, very impressive, and it becomes this like norm and way of life, and you see all sorts of people kind of really walking and biking. It really creates this like really healthy culture. So I think I just want to really say why this is something that I remember bringing it forward and how this was supported on the council, and remember that. And again, that change is never going to be easy, but it's something that's necessary. And if we look in time historically, when we look at things, you know, like I said, there's always kind of some complexities with change, but at the same time, in the long run, we're going to see why these changes and this
He's in the bathroom.
were incredibly necessary. Like I said, for health and
This is a big
well-being, and
bathroom.
just
If it
really,
is a
really
bathroom.
equitable for the infrastructure of our city.
Staying at a
Thank
nice
you very
hotel
much,
for
and I'm really
Thanksgiving.
excited to see this move forward.
That's fine. So, Councilor Royal Park.
Oh God,
Oh my
Gloria
God,
was
the
talking.
headroom in that shot was incredible.
It's like a
Yeah,
fucking
it was
Gary
great.
Newman album cover.
My committee meeting, if the will of the council wants to have it this way. I mean, for another outlet, more communication, more
I'll go back and
transparency.
find that
I
for
don't
a
know if
clip,
I
Brian.
don't think another meeting would hurt.
Thank you.
So if it is the will of the council, then I'd be glad to take this up as soon as possible and have an additional meeting in December. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Councilor Nguyen.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
What is there to discuss? Do they think the road's going to go back?
Right. That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not engaging.
Very impressed by the city manager and Councilor Haji, patiently explaining things to a lot of the residents. And, I think what I got out of it was that
It's just like
there's gonna
beating
be
back the cranks. And all Donna Glorio could do here was just say, I'd be happy to hold a meeting if we don't
and I
file
think
this.
it's important that we
She
understand
didn't
that
even
just
stand up for
how
it.
the changed
So
Kelly Square, it also brought in a lot of safety. I remember driving when I was 21 into Kelly Square, and I was like, how do you even do this, right? And then to see the peanut come, and then people are like, how do I do this? And now it's a normal thing in our city.
The peanut's not great, I gotta say.
I would never ride for the peanut. I thought Kelly Square was perfect before.
I think Kelly Square was kind of fine.
I would go back to Kelly Square the way it was. Like,
The problem is there's no yield sign coming down the hill, so that people don't do actual rotaries like shit. It could work well if people just followed the rotary rules, but they don't. And it's just so fucked.
And you also, if you're going like sort of a different way than just to or from the highway, you have to do some insane cutting people off to get through. Like if you're trying to get over to Millbury Street, from Harding Street on the south, you have to fucking like jam yourself in there.
Because you already committed to it, but just for the public.
Let's go back to the old Kelly Square. I will run for political office on that platform. I'm getting rid of the peanut. Because all you have to do to get rid of the peanut is just pave it over. You just knock the peanut out and pave it over and let it all be blank.
And I think that's honestly the way to go.
People figure it out.
You get Bob and his horses to take out the current design, and then.
Oh, Bob would be my right hand man.
That it actually just.
He would love. I think he would be right there with me.
Yeah, because now he can't tell his cool story about Kelly Square anymore.
Right.
When it comes to traffic, I hear people. I hear people, and I hear the frustration. I hear the learning curve. But when it comes to actual implementation of things like a light or things that would need more monitoring, that's that department. And that's the city manager. And so that's what I recommend is to put in that order and that we file this. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Bergman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. While I agree that sometimes change is difficult, to me, this isn't about necessarily only about change. It's about.
Oh, I found a screen grab of that shot of Eric from a minute ago. Do you guys want to see it?
I think that takes time. This has been a few weeks.
There it is. Yeah. That's the shot.
There are many people that think that this is working out great, and they very well may be right. There are others that seem to have issues. It's not done.
Why does Mo have to be an apologist for assholes? Like the people who were complaining before anything changed, and they've just continued complaining. So it's like
what we voted on, because I always like when I've been told there was a unanimous vote and we all voted to agree to something. I always want to make sure that I read what I voted on, and just the item clearly says under the item we voted on, complete streets shall be incorporated into all publicly and privately funded projects to the extent practical. So, that to me means that there may be occasions where it's not practical to do this. So I'm not taking the position that I can't comment that this needs to be looked at over a longer period of time, and very well may be determined to be a great plan, and that seems to be the way it's headed. But I think a few weeks is too insufficient of a period of time to judge it. And I think you at least need to go through the winter season to be more careful to make sure that it's as good as it seems. So
what does he?
More meetings, Bill. No, we won't file it because we need more meetings to discuss stupidity.
Yes. Just a quick question through the chair to the.
This is going to be a 7-4 vote to file. I'm calling it right now.
Implications that were referenced from the public participation relating to exiting vehicles and maybe parking on a different part of the lines, and also
he should fly away in this little cartoon plane. We'd all be better for it.
The line, the lines being
oh man,
is there a way we can get back
at a different time in my life? I would have photoshopped Mo's little plane flying into a couple specific buildings, but I'm a different man now.
Wow, wow, wee woo.
Does Christian seem really chill to you guys tonight?
Yeah, he's hotboxing Mo's car.
Administration, and that department to respond in time to these concerns.
He's in an early screening of Napoleon.
The movie's way too long, you know, so I gotta come
Talking
and
through it.
yeah.
As part of the meeting.
Yeah, they're shooting cannonballs at the pyramids. Yeah. No, it didn't really happen. No, who cares though?
City manager's office, and let me work on it with the Department of Transportation to communicate back to the council floor. I'd be happy to work with the Department of Transportation in providing an update to the council in the next few months.
And I can't stop thinking about Papa George's now.
What are some challenges? What are some issues?
I never had Papa George's.
It was really good. It was square cut pizzas, really thin Greek style square cuts.
Square cuts. Wow.
It's a special place, yeah.
We don't have enough yet.
It's gone now?
Well, it's new ownership. I'm not disparaging them. I think Paul said that it's pretty good. Still, I think
but the old Papa George's.
Just the original owners, the owners of my childhood, I guess.
So you're saying not my Papa George's?
Not yeah. We need to go back to the way it was. Make Papa George's great again.
Yeah. Papa George's a hop, skip, and a jump away from Mill Street. It's going to be impossible to get there now.
I'll never. Yeah, I can never.
District council has put a lot of.
They used to have a eggplant parmesan pizza that was really good.
Ooh.
Similar to the folks that have been taking many of the conversations
Fuck.
already.
George Russell's going to be the person that.
But I got.
He's supporting filing.
We have bike lanes in District 3 over on Hamilton Street.
All right, George Russell's down for filing it. This is going to be a 7-4 vote. Calling right now. Any bets? You want to put some bets down? 7-4 over under.
Complaining about all the trucks that were coming in through and
Yeah,
we should start gambling.
Right?
We should start openly gambling on the show.
I don't know. You think the mayor files it? I think the mayor probably files it, right?
I think the mayor votes to file it because he just is tired.
Why is the bike lane in one position on Lake Avenue and Hamilton Street and in another position on Mill Street?
Magnets. How do they work?
Like a new way, what we see on Mill Street?
Hey, Mr. Manager, can you explain to me? I seem dopamine deficient. What an insane thing to say to somebody. I mean, I am. I'm pretty sleepy, but still.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yes, I'm depressed.
That's not kind to say.
Yeah, I'm fucking depressed. All right. What do you think? You better than me?
Do I seem dopamine deficient?
Mr. Manager?
Or am I just hiding it very well?
You are correct. There's many different streets.
I suggest taking dopamine supplements like I do.
People in the chat are going to be like, yeah, Bill has a real low T energy today.
Next to the sidewalk. You can see that clearly here on Green Street, like Lake Ave and other areas, including Hamilton Street. What we're doing here is a little different.
George Russell was really just like, can you explain just traffic design, all of it to me? Can you just explain the whole thing to me right now?
Why don't we drive on the left side of the road?
Why do we call them horsepower when they're cars?
Why do we measure horses by hands?
Why do we park on the driveway and drive on the parkway?
Wow.
And did you know that Lincoln had a secretary named Kennedy, and Kennedy had a secretary named Lincoln?
And so this is a new way.
Did you know that Lee Harvey Oswald had a significant CIA file before he ever fired a bullet in Dallas?
We wanted to take approach here because we were not making any significant improvements.
Do you guys know when Viggo Mortensen punches the guy, or he actually breaks his hand, or kicks? I don't know. I forgot it. I'm screwed it up.
Talking about an Eastern Promises.
The ability for
Lord of the Rings. It's like the most touted Lord of the Ring fact.
Which one?
That? Never heard of it.
It's this movie that took over New Zealand for a few years.
With the guy from Eastern Promises.
For sure which way it would be, because it all depends on the street layout.
What's that movie with the guy from Eastern Promises? Oh yeah, Lord of the Rings.
A History of Violence.
Depending on, again,
I would
One of the top 69 scenes in any major release movie. History of Violence.
I've never watched History of Violence.
It's a good movie. It's a really good movie.
You know what I watched recently that fucked me up? Me and Katie have still been talking about it for a couple of days. The Kill Team. It was just on Netflix for a little while, I think. Alexander Skarsgård, and it's like about American soldiers who murdered innocent Afghanis in the Afghanistan conflict.
Very supportive of it, and I think it's
crazy.
A documentary?
Well, it's based on a documentary. It's like a fictionalization of a documentary. It's crazy shit.
Traffic and parking for a hearing, because the subcommittees is where the work is done, and that's something that we.
I haven't been fucked up by a movie in a bit.
This time, but next time definitely. Councilor Toomey.
Through you, Mr.
Oh
Chair.
God, we're really going all the way around the horn on this.
We did have on the website the explanation of the configurations and where it's appropriate for folks to park per street, just so that it's very clear for the public. I think that
Kate, go to the website to me.
Speaking of parking, did you guys see they're doing free parking for small business Saturday?
And for traffic and parking.
What small businesses are down there?
Like Woo Juice, I think.
We'll take time.
Dog Alley.
Oh, you got the same problem. You got the.
I freaking love Dog Alley. I'm stoked that I finally got to eat there. They're great.
I haven't tried it yet.
I just love them as people too. They're incredible.
It's a legit closet of a
Hold
restaurant.
on, they're doing the vote.
No. Councilor Calorio?
No.
Councilor G.A.?
Yes.
Councilor King?
Yes.
Councilor Carlson? Councilor Nguyen?
Yes.
Councilor Rivera?
Yes.
Councilor Rose?
Yes.
Councilor Russell?
Yes.
Councilor Toomey?
No.
And Mayor Petty?
Yes.
Oh, 7-4. Who called it?
Passes 7-4.
Billy gets us. Did you hear Nico call it out?
Yeah.
He must be listening.
I know. I hope he is.
9.2A recommended the appointment of Robert Conzenza and the reappointment of Christina Andreopoulos to the Worcester Airport Advisory Committee. Confirming a roll call.
That's 7-4 the way that
Councilor Bergman?
that we thought.
Yes. Calorio?
Yes.
Councilor G.A.?
Yes.
Councilor King? Councilor King?
Yes.
Councilor
Yes.
Carlson?
Yes.
Councilor Nguyen?
Yes.
Councilor Rivera?
Yes.
Councilor Rose?
No, 7-4 the way that I meant.
Toomey?
Yes.
And Mayor Petty?
7-4 to file it.
Yes. Okay, we are on recommended adoption of the responsible development ordinance relative to tax.
That's a classic Joe Petty. I'm done with this meeting sentence. Okay, we are on.
Council Rose.
He's donezo, baby.
You got me there for a second.
His mind is at the
first off, I'd
Boynton
like to
already.
thank, Peter Dunn, and our economic development team for their hard work in the creation of this responsible development ordinance, tax increment funding, and tax increment exemption, TIFs and ties. I'd also like to thank our friends in labor for their voices, their advocacy, their collaboration, their contribution to this draft ordinance, Mr. Chairman. Together, actually, with our friends in labor, we created what I believe to be one of the most aggressive ordinance related to tax incentives in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. It was stated here tonight at some point that there was some disappointment about this draft ordinance. To be clear, we've been working on this ordinance since February. We were working on it because we had learned a lot about ourselves as a city as it relates to MWBEs, minority women and business enterprises. We incorporated a number of items as it relates to the Inflation Reduction Act, and we certainly created some of the strongest fines in our compliance of any municipality in the Commonwealth. We are literally
the eagle has landed. The pizza's in the oven.
The only municipality in the Commonwealth
15 minutes.
To incorporate apprenticeships.
We're gonna know.
Into our ties. As it relates to workforce hours, there is no other municipality in the state of Massachusetts.
You know what? Kate Toomey's vote of no was very funny because she didn't even defend it at all. She wasn't even like, I think we should have more meetings. She was just like,
No, she
there's a
was
lot of
saying,
helpful
like-
information on the website.
Yeah, she was like, "Oh, we've done a really good job." I was like, "No."
$1 billion of private and public investment in my time.
I know where my bread is buttered.
The Community Preservation Act. We took that on. We took on inclusionary zoning.
Oh, I got my booster yesterday.
On the specialized stretch code.
You got a
my flu
booster?
shot. Yeah.
Oh, I gotta get my booster in flu.
Of our
She,
TIF
she hit me in the same exact spot.
on this journey
Both shots.
With both?
Yeah, I think she used
What
the
a
same
sadist.
hole. Yeah.
An inclusive and innovative model for tip tie ordinance.
You got DP'd, dude.
Yeah, dude. It was fucking walloped me.
We are the leaders in this. I'd like to thank the administration.
The booster right into my marrow.
My urgency in getting this done before I was out of council. I've had the privilege, Mr. Chairman, of moving a number of items and initiatives on in my time and my 3 terms in the council.
Whatever it's called. I said, give me the Travis Kelce.
We're literally going to create a model TIF and tie ordinance for the whole Commonwealth. And because of that, Mr. Chairman, I do not want to.
Man, I'm just using Twitter exclusively to bully my former boss, Walter Bird Jr.
The economic development.
I just tweeted at him, ah man, petition filed 7-4 at Walter Bird Jr. Sorry, bud.
Labor and others, key stakeholders. Because
It's like completely implying that it was his petition because it might as well be.
I do not want to see
After when the election was done, I meant to turn off like tweet notifications for him and Jose, but I can't bring myself to do it. It's too entertaining.
I actually haven't even checked in on what he's been posting about lately.
Privately,
Jose posted
to create something.
He posted a very weird tweet yesterday that about living in love and living in hope, living in love, not hate, living in hope, not anger, live in kindness, not rudeness, live in generosity, not selfishness. Just a weird thing for a transphobe to post on Trans Day of Remembrance. But then today he posted a meme saying, truth is, you had a purpose before anyone had an opinion. Finish your mission. Which makes me think he's going to
yield my time in case any of my colleagues.
Yeah,
you know, somebody
he's going to blank up blank.
Yeah,
as I'm sure Mr. Dunn is as well. Any questions?
Walter's last tweet, that's just a tweet, is just a selfie.
Thank you, Council Rose. We have
yeah, most of his tweets now are just replying to Ben White.
followed by Council
Sorry, Ben.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First and foremost, I would just want to say that I'm prepared to vote on this tonight. I want to commend my 2 committee members.
Walter
Chairman,
apparently, because he's verified, so
Councilor Rivera for.
I think you can just delete when I tweet at him.
Working on this for quite some time.
Oh no, wait, no, it's still there.
Secret.
Yeah, I just retweeted it. So
That my preference is that this be expanded across all trades in specificity, and we have come up with a compromise here. And I think one of the things that come to mind is continuous improvement. I think that's what you've seen when I came on council in 2016.
Do you think if Kate Toomey's name was started with an A or a B, she would have voted the same way?
You know, moving forward with the tips and
like she always votes last.
Yeah.
So I think she just votes whatever Bergman votes.
And responsible.
He would still just like, you know,
It's
just
also no mistake
nudge
that,
her, you know,
I'm all about
and tell her how to
access
vote
and
anyways.
Yeah.
And as you've heard tonight, we have these sorts of opportunities to make, we should do exactly that. For me, more opportunities is very important. For me, more is more. I think
this is going great.
I think you're breaking
Look at that. I just noticed that we have more viewers than the city's stream.
Oh, hell yeah.
King, I think we lost you there. I don't know if you can hear us.
Yes.
Okay, we lost
Yes.
you. Back on now. Go ahead.
Can you hear me
I'm
now?
so ready for snow, but I don't think this is going to be good snow.
Okay.
This is gonna be shitty
All right.
snow. Yeah.
It's gonna be rain snow, right?
Yeah, rain, snow, not fun
Real
snow.
quick, to the chair, to the administration, one of the concerns brought forward was pertaining to federal funding opportunities. Can you speak about how we can make sure we are compliant with the Inflation Reduction Act and the other federal requirements that will be there for funding and requiring apprenticeships? Can you just speak to that quickly?
Sure, Mr. Dunn.
Sure, through the chair to the counselor. So when we have a TIF or a tie project, it doesn't necessarily mean that it is a project that's seeking the benefits of the Inflation Reduction Act. So those two things are somewhat mutually exclusive, but the Inflation Reduction Act has been celebrated in its language and its inclusion.
Wow, Richard Spencer back there.
And so when we develop this solution and this proposal, we look to what was
Richard Spencer in the gallery tonight, folks.
He's looking at us right now.
Workforce hours because that mirrors what.
What are they saying about my haircut?
Fuck! I put all my money in OpenAI.
January 1st. So we kind of drew from some of that, and certainly heard a lot of the good feedback about what
I haven't lost this much money since my bored ape.
Comply with that federal legislation because those projects don't necessarily.
This is my bored ape NFT. I had to get a second mortgage on that one.
Thank you. And can you speak a little bit about the good faith?
Oh, fuck. I put all my money in OpenAI. Fuck.
I think through the chair to the council, I think the question was
Sam. No, Sam. No.
I had a journalism class today, that program that I'm doing, and the speaker was talking about sort of like the future of media with what's coming with AI. And he was basically like, the only stuff that's going to matter that's written by humans is targeted towards niche audiences with human flavor. And I was like, okay, perfect. So that's exactly what I was saying when Worcester Sucks is too stupid for AI to replicate. So this program is also too stupid for AI to replicate. So we're safe here, folks, from the coming AI implosion of media by nature of being stupid.
This show is extremely human flavored, so we're good.
Yeah.
Qualified apprentices is to keep it at sort
Our
of a
description
level playing
is
field with the other
assisted
things
by
we're trying to
AI every
accomplish,
week.
The other goals that we have in the
Shut up.
tie policy, which is
Be nice to it.
hopefully going to be an ordinance.
Rocco's
So things
basilisk.
like the workforce hour goals we have
A lot of
for
people
Worcester
don't know that
residents,
Travis is
people of
AI.
color, as well as women. And
It's
then
I'm just
true.
not as
from those
verbose
workforce
as
hour
Bill
goals
is,
that
so
we have
I need
for
all the help I
minority
can
and
get.
women business enterprise participation. So we feel like
Oh
this
wait,
approach
you
really
chat
creates
GPT the
parity,
description for this show?
and objectives we have.
I told
because
Mike
we feel like
Benedetti
that's
to
more of a
feed it.
mandate or a
I feed it
requirement.
Mike Benedetti's
We believe
email
would
and
have
have
an
it give me
outsized effect.
something,
And
and then
so
I
sending the
I
message
edit
is
it
the
from
most
there.
important thing to us.
Dog, you can just ask me.
Oh my God, Travis is a scab. Oh, no, oh no, we're ruined.
That's so awesome.
A lot of work put
I mean, like, it's fine. Use chat GPT or don't, it doesn't matter.
I just optimize it so that we get more viewers. But I would love to take your description if you want to write it. I just don't want to bother you.
To get
Yeah.
better. We'll continue to.
I would love to see Mike on the stream too. I'm pretty sure Mike hates my guts.
And I'm proud to have served on
All the
this.
better. Let's get him on.
Yeah, I know. So we should try to get him on. I don't know why he does, but I'm pretty sure he does.
Councilor Rivera.
Hey, how are you? Wanted to say thank you, Mr. Chairman. I wanted to just say
I don't think
thank
Mike hates you at all.
for everyone who worked on this.
Okay,
this was
well,
something
I'm just going to hold that opinion.
Yeah, that's fine too. Yeah.
But yeah, Brendan, we should get him on one time.
Oh, I'd love to. Yeah, we can make that happen.
Yeah.
I understand that
I'll ping him right now.
may not be exactly where we
Stevie wants to come on tonight. I'll ask him why he hates me so much.
and just really
Well,
want
a classic Rich Davis for anybody
commend
who
the great work.
gets that joke.
This is definitely a step forward, and want to just
he
encourage
do that?
people that just like
Ah,
much when
man.
we did
All
the
right.
initial
We can talk
Yes.
about it later if you want.
Yeah, yeah.
proposal.
This is not the right crowd for that
in
joke.
moving now to an ordinance. I mean, from policy to ordinance, and why this was so important. That doesn't mean that we're not going to keep working. That we're not going to keep working 6 months from now, 10 months from now, or a year from now. So this is definitely about economic equity. This is about economic stability. This is about economic mobility for all people. This is about really giving an opportunity. This has so many wonderful aspects. And what's great is that I think that we, like I said, we may not be exactly, I could understand some disappointment and may not be exactly what we want, but we're definitely way steps ahead from someone who's been working on issues of TIF and wage theft for a long time on this council and prior to this council. I'm really excited to be able to vote on this board and being on the.
I love that phrasing of like, as someone who is
making sure that before
very,
we left,
you know,
something that was
handsome
going to happen,
and
and
articulate
wanted to be able to
and
vote
well put
on it right
together.
before it happened.
I
So
love
I'm excited to vote on this
to
today.
vote
I'm
on any
excited
number
to
of
move this
things that have to
forward.
do with
And as I
that.
transition into actively working for economic equity in our community as still a standing leader in the community, I look forward to continuing some of this work.
As an upstanding leader in the community, I look forward to continuing this work.
People that stayed at the
Kid,
table,
that's
our ED department, our, you know,
the funniest
economic
lines in the world
team,
are just right
our
there
administration. This was really
in
a
what real
collaborative
people
effort,
say.
and I'm excited to move this forward.
Thank you.
Like you won't find better dialogue about crappy politicians on like Veep, you know, than what Soraya Rivera just put down there.
Councilor King referenced, we came on together. And I remember quite honestly being elected in 2015 and looking at this city and where we were with our friends in organized labor. We were in a very, very different place than we
Oh
are
my God.
today. And that, Mr. Chairman, quite honestly, is because of this council, someone like yourself.
That's crazy.
We had the opportunity to have our previous city manager.
That's sexist and all that. I hope it's good weed.
City manager. This has been a lot of years in the making and changing what this TIF policy looked like. And for us to be
Kenny Merrill Carlson just
sitting here
said that the
tonight,
council
this
is
now going to become an
should take
ordinance.
credit for the
It is
uptick in
really
organized labor activity in the city,
in my opinion, that this council,
which is insane. That is an insanely hilarious, bold claim.
is it disappointing? By no means is it disappointing. This is something that I think every single one of us should be extremely proud of. All the work over the years that it's taken for us to get here. And we got here because this council cared about the direction.
Look at George Russell right now. He's like caressing the microphone.
Wanted this city to look like and making sure that the community had a
He's
place.
petting it like a little kitty.
Certainly making sure that our folks in organized labor had a place at the table. And again, we've done this in a very, in my opinion, we've done this in a very methodical way. And I would say that during my
Wow, that'd be
tenure
so
on
sick.
economic development and somebody like Peter Dunn in leading the way, this is the reason why we are where we are today. And it's because of the administration that we
Yeah,
have.
I'll go grab them.
This council has never forgotten what we needed to do. And yes, are there additional steps that we have to take? Yes, and I think we're all committed to that, taking additional steps. But Mr. Chairman, I by no means stand here tonight or sit here tonight and feel disappointed in any way. I think we
Yeah,
should all
Maria,
be
that's right.
extremely
He's
proud
like,
and really want to say
he's having a tender moment with the base of that microphone.
to Councilor Rose, Chairman on the Economic Development Committee, and our other two committee members, because again, we finally got to a place where this is an ordinance. And again, for us to stand here and say, we are the leaders, we are the leaders. There's nothing to be disappointed about that.
Yeah, you're the leader for now,
We've
Candy.
already made a commitment going forward to continue to look at this and to continue to improve. And I have full confidence that this council next council is committed to doing the right thing.
Oh,
by
the stream going
our
dark was me ordering
community that
pizza.
we've
Sorry,
been
everybody.
elected to serve. So I just want to say thank you.
I thought you just meant because Candy Merrill Carlson was talking, and a pall was cast over the stream.
I don't think Joe Petty will appoint Candy to economic development chair after kicking her off last time. I don't think that'll happen.
I'm very. That's one of the things I'm most curious about. I'm also very curious about public safety.
I think that Kate Toomey is back on public safety, no questions asked.
Yeah, but I also am curious who else is on it. Like, who's the vice chair? And
right.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I rise to congratulate everybody who's been at the table on this true collaboration for years. And as you and I are the longest serving,
I rise to congratulate.
we certainly know how far back these discussions have gone.
Just got a 2-minute warning on the pizza. Oh, boys. What is this bisexual Bob thing that just keeps coming up?
Career that will provide a living wage.
Second time I've read that in the chat tonight.
Potential for them to be able to raise their families in a home with a home and have an incredible future. There is incredible opportunity for people in the building trades right now because there's so much need. And we have, I know I see all the ads on X, formerly Twitter, especially from the Carpenters Union. I know that they're reaching out. And I think
that's it. That is the most Kate Toomey thing that I've ever heard.
These positions is great, and it builds upon.
Bisexual Bob is not a person; it's a hairstyle.
And I think that.
I got there. Thanks, Travis.
Oh,
at first though, I did think that it was.
I didn't. I still thought it was.
That's the new woke Bob the Builder. They made Bob the Builder bisexual.
Now, but what's Bob the Builder going to build? Theater props? I don't know. I couldn't think of what a contractor would say about a bisexual.
I thought it was like a competitor on RuPaul or something.
What's Bob the Builder going to build now? Craft cocktails?
Administration, Mr. Dunn and the city manager, who have recognized that
they took Bob the Builder and made him Bob the mixologist.
And make everything better for us.
I wonder if there's ever been a bisexual competitor on RuPaul's Drag Race.
Thank you.
There's been one straight competitor.
Mr. Chairman, I rise to support the item.
That's a good one, Matt.
I want to.
Yeah, bisexual Bob the Builder works for HGTV.
For his leadership on this item and his leadership in the years that he's been on the council on so many different items that affect
get that pizza
class people in the city of Worcester and what he's done to make their lives better. Mr. Chairman, we all talked about some of the memories we had going down memory lane. Memory I have is sitting on that side of the council when I was first elected, asking a question: why do we have more rules for a small business person that wants to put a parking lot in than we have for someone that wants a multi-million-dollar tax break? I asked that question, and that's how we originally got our policy started, that conversation started. Mr. Chairman, I have said so many times in this community and in this council floor that there's nothing more frustrating than voting for some kind of a special deal to help a business, whether it's a tax break or whether it be a discount on a purchase of a piece of property or whatever it may be, and then to go by that construction site and to see that van pull up with New Jersey license plates on it or license plates from another community and have a bunch of people jump out.
I don't want to see no New Jersey license plates in my community.
Mr. Chairman, let the message be clear from this room and from this city hall tonight.
Could be Zach Braff.
We don't need that van to come back to Worcester because we got plenty of folks.
We got plenty of vans here.
Around the community that need jobs, that need training, and this city government is standing behind them and making sure that there is opportunities for them to build a future for themselves in this community and in the jobs and the trades that they've chosen. That's the message that needs to come out of this tonight.
And with the leadership of Councilor Rose and with you, Mr. Chairman, this has been able to come to fruition. Is it perfect? No, it's not. And I stand ready, willing and able in the future to look at it again, to see if we can add even more apprenticeship opportunities there. But Mr. Chairman, this is a milestone, and it's a milestone, and it's a line in the sand. It's a line in the sand to tell folks that people in Worcester are going to profit. The average person in Worcester is going to profit from all this development. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Councilor. And real quick, I'll just say, Councilor Rose, thank you for your leadership on this and the Economic Development Committee members. And
in a way, it's nice that the election is over, so we can just go back to hearing these people say nonsense shit that doesn't mean anything.
And then compliment each other for it.
Yeah.
Listen to people. So
We're all friends again.
I just want to thank Peter Dunn and his group.
LOL, Paul. I think all the time that I should have took a real job like welding, or that my design degree isn't going to do anything when the zombie apocalypse comes.
And try to listen to everybody. And this one, we're all.
You could only patch so many windows with art canvases.
And even in past policies,
I should have taken graphic design at Vogue instead of going to private school.
Provide your best advice here to the council. So I appreciate the effort you've taken. Listen to the organized labor people who are here tonight, and listen to other people, not just organized labor, the business community too, and try and put this all together that can move the city forward. So I want to thank the manager and yourself for listening and putting teams together that represent the community as a whole. So I just want to thank this. And I was glad back in 2016 and to be a leader in this in 2019 for the wage theft policy to make sure that happened. Now we have an ordinance, and thanks to Councilor Rose and input from a lot of people here in the room who've been waiting all night for this. So I do appreciate this. It's a nice Thanksgiving treat for a lot of people here. And so I look forward to the vote. And thank you. So we'll do a roll call. I'm sorry, Mr. Manager. I'm sorry. Apologies.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Check this pie out, fellas.
As a son of a family.
Whoa.
Grew up and
This is some good pieces of pizza right here.
Look at that.
Whoa.
That's a real pizza pie.
That's a real pizza pie. Up. Look at the bottom. Most important part.
Oh,
Pretty
yeah.
good. All right. Taste test. Better be a 14 out of 10, I'm told.
Barber, but I have skills in barbering and other skills, whether it's carpentry
Hot.
and other. Oh my dad.
So hot.
This means a
Look
lot
who hot.
to me and to this administration. And
Oh,
it's
that's good.
quite easy for
That's
me
good.
to
It's so
kind
good.
of lead
14 out of 10.
this effort.
Hell yeah.
I have a great leader who understands the value of this, and Peter Dunn, who understands this and is able to work with the unions, the labor unions, and kind of put these things together and do the extensive research and understanding so that when we put something together to the council, for me, it's just a simple trust in him to be able to deliver. And we clearly have seen that here.
After so many weeks of eating pizzas that were totally
The evolution.
just regular ass bad pizza, it is refreshing to eat a nice homemade pizza.
Right? 'Cause I worked in the manager's office, so I understood some of those challenges. But this is a big moment for the city, right? And when we want to make transformational change, the only way to do that is to work together. And working in the administration, having a leader in Peter Dunn, the labor unions, this city council body working together can make transformational change. And that's what we've done.
He does a good job reviewing pizza.
But with the other policy that
Apparently, he was on the Adam Friedland show recently. I will have to watch that.
Which is pretty
I think he's a
aggressive,
peckin'.
For our city. So I'm proud for this moment, and I celebrate all
Oh,
of this.
what's his
Dave
name?
Portnoy?
Dave. Yeah, he's a piece of shit. Fuck him.
Good time.
So we'll do a roll call.
If only he had started with reviewing pizza instead of being the
Right.
person he is for 20 years.
Yes.
He's like a piece of shit, but he's also not in jail and is a millionaire. And Aiden Kearney could have just been that.
Absolutely.
He fucked up so bad.
Yes. Council Russell?
Yes.
Council Toomey?
Yes.
Mayor Petty?
Yes. And thank you for sticking it out tonight. Much appreciated. The next item is 9.14A, transfer information communication over to the Worcester Disaster Relief Fund. So this comes a long way. Councilor Hajai.
Congratulations, everybody. That was a very special moment. So I want to celebrate first and foremost the amazing work that Charles Goodwin and the commitment of the city manager and former director Diana Rolls, who was the inspiration and the wings behind the order that I had put in right after the collapse of the Mill Street. And I want to say special thank you to Tim Garvin of the United Way of Central Mass for being an amazing partner. I know that he and I had discussions about this right after the collapse as well. And I think I want to center the experiences and the lives and the impact that these tragedies, whether it's a collapsed building or a fire or another weather emergency, has had on the people in our city. I heard a speaker today just ask the question of whether this applies to just collapsed buildings, and I'm sure Mr. Goodwin will give us a little bit of an update on what it actually means. But I think what's important to ask is, what else can we do
for sure
to
fit.
continue to feed this fund? Special thanks to Mr. Brunk and his family. He reached out to me just a few months as we were throughout the summer, we're discussing this item, and just was so eager to understand how to support it, how to donate it. And I understand that he's made, or his family's made a considerable donation, and I will certainly also make a personal donation to the fund. This means incredibly a lot to me. I wish some of the families of the Mill Street collapsed building were here to celebrate with us today. I know that hopefully we won't have this kind of disasters in the city, but I cannot stress enough personally how much it means to me that we finally have such an amazing resource for our community. And I commit myself, Mr. Goodwin and City Manager, and Mr. Garvin, to support you in continuing to raise funds. I will make this a point of conversation with business owners, with businesses in my district, and anyone who wants to really donate, and make sure that not a single resident goes unsupported from now on. And so special thank you to Mr. Goodwin for the hard work of your department, and Mr. Manager, thank you so much for all the time, resources, and energy that you've also put into this.
Perfect. So we'll send that to Public Safety. Roll call.
Council Bergman,
Yes.
Council Calorio,
Yes.
Council Hajia,
Yes.
Council King,
Yes.
Council Member Carlson,
Yes.
Council Nguyen,
Yes.
Council Rivera, Council Rose,
Yes.
Council Russell,
Yes.
Council Toomey,
Yes.
and Mayor Petty.
Yes, transmitting information, communication over the differences between a conveyance of property and the grant of location for a utility conduit. We'll send that to Public Works. Council Russell, Public Works? Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Roll call.
Council Bergman,
Yes.
Council Calorio,
Yes.
Council Hajia,
Yes.
Council King, Council
You know what could throw a whole stick in this
Yes.
idea of having a shorter city council meeting tonight
Rivera,
is Kenny Merrill Carlson last week held the item about
Yes.
Mayor Petty.
City Hall,
Yes, transmitting
city
information,
council
communication
chief of
over
staff,
regulation of street performers
and how much that
Worcester
person should be
Park
paid.
Ordinance. We'll send that to Parks. How are you doing so, Councilor Bergman?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, thank you. I appreciate the report. Some of this information is what I would have anticipated. I just think going forward, if Parks is the place that you determine is the best place for it, I would just like to kind of give a heads up to some of the issues that I see that need to really be flushed out. So looking at the revised ordinance on the memo we got, talks about the itinerant musician, and it cannot conflict with other street performers performing at the same time. So I don't know how that process plays out. Does that mean somebody has to get a permit or schedule a performance before somebody else does? Because I understand the concept. You can't have two people competing at the same time, although having...
Does anyone remember why we're even talking about the street performer thing?
Where we see multiple performers at the
Is it just because Mo Bergman asked for it?
No, it was put on by
same performance. Also,
a
I know
resident.
under subparagraph
David
4,
Webb's been
it
talking
lists the
about
times
it.
8 a.m. to 9 p.m. I understand we don't want to be...
Jeff
stealing the kids from
Killebrew is
anybody,
the
but
name
I'd
of the
also
guy
say
that
it's
put it
safe
on
to say
originally, and he's the
maybe
person that
it
has the
was
permit in Elm Park, who's been running the Eden Slime car rides.
Oh,
off. I would also just two other quick points.
okay, cool.
The report talks about coordinating with the Parks and Recreation Commission. I think we've heard before concerns about trying to make that easier. How many days in advance do you need to do that? How easy can the process be made to be? And how do you prioritize multiple people trying to use the same location at the same time? And lastly, I know at the last paragraph, there's a regulation that seems to prohibit a sign of a certain dimension requesting money to be given or offering patrons to contribute to the performer. And I would just wonder the constitutionality.
Yeah, Maria, do you have an event page? I saw a flyer or something for that rally on Friday.
Handlers do. They can hold up whatever.
I'd like to get that into my newsletter.
Susan Sarandon got dropped from her agency.
If the concept
Over
is the right to request money.
Really? What did she say?
Yeah.
For what?
I had nothing. It didn't seem like it was anything like
So there's lots of issues.
non-anodyne, but
I appreciate Mr. Chairman.
and then the lead of the last two Scream movies, she got fired from the next one.
That was presented to us by the city manager.
Wow, for just saying something about Palestine?
Yeah, like Palestine will be free.
Wow.
Something kind of innocuous. As far as I've seen, I don't know. Maybe there's something else that's.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. I haven't seen anybody say anything too wild as far as huge celebrities, but.
Councilor Russell? Yes. Councilor Toomey?
Yes.
Mayor Petty?
You saw something wild?
Tom Cruise's agent.
Oh, yeah.
Was relieved of her duties as the co-chief of the Motion Pictures Department of CAA.
Yeah.
For saying, "What's more heartbreaking than witnessing a genocide?" Yeah.
The second part of that line though is what's more heartbreaking than witnessing a genocide? Witnessing a genocide that people refuse to call a genocide, and that's what they fired her over. But she's still an agent. And Tom Cruise publicly backed her.
That's
which
huge.
Is like kind of crazy. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
That's Maverick.
Yeah.
Right. That's Maverick backing you.
Yeah.
We've proposed two different tax levies as it relates to new growth. So under the financial integrity plan, all new growth above budget would go to the unused tax levy capacity.
I guess maybe you could read something into that I don't know if she would necessarily mean, but who knows? I don't know.
That's a big fucking stretch.
It's fucking Susan Sarandon. Like it's insane. That's wild.
Alternative number two, however,
all that shit's gonna backfire on them so bad.
Yeah, the Scream fans are gonna take this whole thing down.
My favorite thing has been that all the Republicans saying that TikTok is juicing the algorithm because so many more people are posting about free Palestine than they are stand with Israel.
1 million toward
the average age of a TikTok user is like 21.
Yeah, like, are they really not on top of this generational gap in like the very obvious polling data that they think that like the Chinese government can just like exercise control over the masses like that? It's just literally how people think.
There for future needs and obligations of the city.
Here is so that means that there could be other alternatives.
Through the chair, with that 4.7 million, the city council can determine how or whether it wants to spend that money. So the base alternative is following the financial integrity plan, meaning $0 of that new growth above budget are spent. 4.7 million goes to the unused tax levy capacity. If the council chooses an alternative number, that's possible. However, we would have to run brand new tax levy tables. Depending on what the number is, it changes all of the calculations within the tables, and we'd have to run them. That's doable. It's about time. And right now, we have to get tax, as you know, every year this is a crunch where the tax rates have to be set really toward the beginning of December so that we could then create the tax bills and issue the tax bills by the end of the month. If tax rates are not set during that period, then the city is unable to issue tax bills until May. And in May, people would get a double whammy. They would get 2 quarters of tax bill in that one period. I will also mention this is a very difficult year for us because this tax bill will be the first time we issue the Community Preservation Act.
This guy's personally getting sued for taking someone's house from them.
It's going to be a complicated process we go through towards the middle and end of December.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, is there any way is this only available like on PDF or is there some kind of a program where we could, because there are so many different alternatives and we have to flip page after page. We have this discussion, it seems every year, Mr. Chairman, about, comparing, obviously the easy one to compare is commercial percentage, residential percentage, and residential being a single family house. But I think with the market conditions the way they've been, the real issue this year is going to be, what are we going to be charging renters indirectly by increasing landlords' taxes? I think that's going to be the big conversation on the council floor. At least that's what I'm predicting. Is it because those? So I'd like to see some charts that kind of like combine those. But I wonder if it's is there any program that's available on the city website or anywhere else where we could just do that, or do we have to keep asking for separate charts?
Through the chair, it'd be separate charts. However, a number of years ago,
I can't wait for 4 more years of Trump.
For a table that compares.
I think it's going to be fun.
Single family homes, apartments, condos.
It'll be interesting.
That table is located within the packet as well. So you can, there's 2 alternatives, alternative 1 table, alternative 2 table. So you can look within that one.
I guess it'd be better to get betrayed by the bad guys than the good guys.
Mr. Chairman, does it have the median commercials?
Trump says one positive thing about the Palestinian people, and it's a fucking lock.
Yep, same format.
Okay, so the ask is that we have 2. Okay, Council Bergen.
I expect this to be quick. Through the chair to, well, actually, Ms. McGurthy, I think you're good. Just a question. My recollection is we voted on the integrity plan, and we talked about the new growth going to offset our taxpayers. So my question is, wouldn't we even have to take the first step of agreeing to change our plan before we'd even look at the alternative? And I'm not saying I'm not open-minded to considering alternatives, but we spent a lot of time agreeing because other revenues went to other directions. So I think a number of us felt that we have to have something in place to help the taxpayers if we ran into a situation where we're fortunate enough to have extra money to help the taxpayers. This is a year where the CPA kicks in. So I haven't had a chance yet to take a deep dive into these tax tables, but I'm assuming that the CPA information isn't really calculated in there. So in addition to deciding on the taxes is going to be an extra bill, as Mr. McGurthy said. So I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm concerned that we're taking a vote that we took in the past to commit to the new growth going.
Chamber of Commerce wants to fight Mark Wayne Mullen.
To offset tax liabilities.
Stand your butt up right now.
Maybe we can have a plan B without even taking another vote.
Guys, how come we're not talking about this important story? I can't share it because I'm sharing the meeting, but I'm putting the link in the chat.
Mr. Manager.
No.
No. Possible eviction?
Is it because no one has ever stepped foot in that building or ordered anything from that since it's been open?
And so that
Kind of what it sounds like.
You
And then
bite
they're
your
not paying
tongue.
rent.
I've ordered from there 2 or 3 times.
One of the shows I was working on, one of my bosses loved Boston Market. So like once a week we'd have to eat Boston Market for lunch.
That's awesome.
It was so crazy.
I mean, you could do worse.
The creamy spinach.
It's an insane thing to eat for lunch. Like
A chicken pot pie is my
that is
jam
nap
bun.
fuel.
Yeah,
One time I saw Ed Augustus walking out of the Boston Market alone in the rain with one takeout container of Boston Market at like 6 p.m. on a weekday. And I was like, wow, his life sucks. It made me feel better.
and he lived right there next to Addie Lee's.
However, table 1 is the
Well,
table that, alternative 1 is the one that relates to the financial integrity.
I appreciate the comments, and I know there'll be more discussion on this. Thank you, Mr. Manager.
Yeah, well, now he's a cabinet secretary, so state government.
Everybody.
So we can go to a Boston Market on Beacon Hill.
Now he's fucking over Worcester residents from a much higher place of power.
Yeah.
When we have this meeting on December 5th, we'll have to delay it because it's going to, he won't get it.
Somebody just liked their
We're
Facebook stream.
required by law to
Thanks.
put this out by a certain
That was me.
date. If you can take their time
Hell yeah.
and, really take a look at this and call for Ms. McGurthy and
God, I hate the tax rate thing is the most annoying thing that the city council does.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'll try to write an explainer of why it's so pointless that we do this, but
this is part of the project.
it just makes me feel very tired right now.
That fund be part of the stabilization fund.
Do you see the Chamber of Commerce in their newspaper? Tried to blame the fact that you have to drive to Shrewsbury to go to Market Basket on the split tax rate.
It's approved. So
that's been sitting on my desk and I haven't read it yet, but I should.
It's just such a fucking reach, dude. It's so funny.
Council Bergman?
Yes.
Council Calorio?
The Chamber of Commerce's newspaper.
Council King?
The Chamber of Commerce.
So you would know about it. It's that newspaper you send out to all your members. And then even if you stopped paying membership, they still send it to you.
Yeah, I've been getting mine for like 10 years since I stopped paying. I just throw it away.
9.368.
It's good for starting to grill or a solo stove every once in a while.
I have a
It's so crazy that we thought the Worcester Guardian was going to be anything different. They were like, oh, it's an independent news organization. It's just no, it's just the digital Chamber of Commerce connection.
Yes. Council King?
Yes.
Councilor Carlson?
Yes.
Councilor Nguyen?
Yes.
Councilor Rivera? Councilor Rose?
Yes.
Councilor Russell?
Yes.
Councilor Toomey?
Yes.
Mayor Petty?
Yes. Report of the planning board upon the communication of the city manager going to approve the zoning ordinance amendment relative to the accessory dwelling units. The motion is going to refer to ED.
Are they going to talk about it?
Roll call.
Councilor Bergman?
Yes.
Yes.
No discussion on ADUs. Hell yeah.
Councilor Carlson?
Yes.
Councilor Nguyen?
Yes.
Councilor Rose?
Yes.
Councilor Russell?
Yes.
All right, now we're really cooking along here.
Mayor Petty?
Yes.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, so we can have reconsideration on 10A because of
10A
the ED
reconsideration.
meeting next week.
Okay, so 10A is for reconsideration or roll call?
Councilor Bergman?
No.
Councilor Calorio?
No.
Councilor Gia?
Yeah, it's really not
Councilor
good
King?
as
Councilor Carlson?
even a digital
Councilor
news
Nguyen?
outlet. It
No.
just
Councilor
kind of
Rose?
stinks.
No.
Councilor Russell?
I feel bad for
Councilor Toomey?
No.
Kieran.
Mayor Petty?
No.
I haven't read a single word of it.
Petition Donald Neal.
I've only read what I had to clown on it.
Councilor Rivera has asked, I think, to hold that until the next meeting.
Mass Live, I have some inside information that I think that they're not going to be in Worcester much longer.
Yes.
Councilor
They're kind of checking out of their Worcester coverage after Noah Bombard left. I don't think Mass Live's sticking around in Worcester much longer.
Noah Baumbach worked there?
Noah Bombard.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, I love his work.
Also, the additional position.
Miriam's wedding.
The council, Councilor Member Carlson.
I love Noah Bombard's work. The Worcester Renaissance.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to recommit both of these items back to the city manager.
Okay, so the motion is to recommit. Roll call.
Councilor Bergman?
Yes.
Councilor Calorio?
Yes.
Councilor Gia?
Yes.
Councilor King?
Yes.
Councilor Carlson?
Yes.
Councilor Nguyen?
Yes.
Councilor Rose?
Yes.
Councilor Russell?
Yes.
Councilor Toomey?
Yes.
And Mayor Petty?
Yes. Okay, that brings us to the end of the meeting. I just wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy your families, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Wow. Look at that. A 2-hour meeting.
Holy friholies.
Yes.
Councilor Gia?
What do we do now?
Councilor
I don't know. Yeah, we had time blocked off till 11:12 at night.
Councilor Rose?
Yes.
Councilor Russell?
Yes.
Councilor Toomey?
Yes.
And Mayor Petty?
This would be the perfect time to start playing Rocket League. But I never figure that out.
Figure it out. Let's do it. Let's do it next
I don't want
meeting.
I don't want to figure it out live. Okay, yeah, next meeting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Nomad, you're right. The city manager is holding police reports from the Human Rights Commission, and he is just trying to say that he's not, but also he's saying he is. It's very weird. That's true. Yeah, the Guardian does re-edit things quite a bit. Check my last post. Pretty funny. Yeah. So next week there's no meeting. We never get this right. We really don't. We thought
There's
there was
no
gonna be
meeting next
this week.
Yeah.
There's definitely no meeting next week. Okay. That's good. That's good. Yeah, pretty uneventful meeting today, I gotta say. I really don't care about the TIF policy thing. I think that's fine. You know, it's whatever. It was nice to see Fred Nathan and the Dick guy eat shit on Mill Street. That was pretty cool.
Wait, you said the same guy twice. Fred Nathan and the Dick guy.
Fred Nathan, 2 dicks, 1 bike lane, baby. Tough night for Walter Bird Jr. And that's really it. I don't know. What are our takeaways?
It's a tough night for Walter Bird. He should quit his job and move out of the city forever.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Just a thought. I don't know.
How much further could you fail upwards than posting a job for the Worcester Housing Authority?
Yeah. Hey, listen. Let's do everything in our power to get him to run Maureen Benenda's mayoral campaign.
Yes, that's what we need. Listen, $700 a week. That's a steal, Maureen.
Yeah.
You should do it. He puts the work in. He posts a lot. He posts a lot of stuff on the internet.
If we can get Jack to be his deputy, then we're fucking golden.
We have to, that's what we'll do. We're gonna go dark and just do campaign ops. Just work it so that the worst people are involved. Yeah, Maureen Benenda going to be mayor in 2 years, and every city council meeting is going to be just like the one that we just watched tonight. Not a lot to be excited about, but it's good that Mill Street's getting a bike lane, Chandler Street's going to get a bike lane. That's great, and the townies can't do fucking shit about it. So
if they do that to Chandler Street, that is going to be amazing to watch. We have to book that out in advance. We got to get a venue. We have to bring in proper AV.
Yeah, I know. Especially going up past Worcester State into Taconic that way.
Yeah, where the road is wider than 290, but still people will lose their fucking minds.
Yeah. That's going to be the real pitchforks. But yeah, I don't know. What are we thinking?
What do you for next meeting? Obviously, we don't know what's on the agenda, but what do you think they do leading up to the turnover?
It's going to be the next meeting is going to be a lot of talk about the tax rate, the tax classification, and honestly, we've all talked about it. Very agnostic on why that matters. So maybe I'll try to do some work ahead of that meeting to kind of clearly lay out why that does not matter at all, but it's such a big political issue in Worcester because there's a lot to be talked about there. It's like they treat it like their Super Bowl every year. It's like this is where everyone has to talk for 10 minutes.
And it's for residents, it's such a small amount of different it truly means so little.
Mm-hmm. It's just the one part where they come close to having actual responsibility over policy.
Yeah.
That they have to fake it. That they fake that they're in charge. Yeah. So that'll be fun.
That should be interesting.
It's really the most depressing time of year.
Yeah. It's not
the holidays, just tax classification. Yeah,
this would be a good one to get. It'd be good to get Mike Benedetti on and have him explain his thoughts on the tax classification vote. That'd be fun.
I already hate you, Bill. So
I know.
I did reach out to him to see if he'd come on. I didn't hear back from him tonight.
Absolutely not. He left you on red.
Not as long as Bill's there.
Yeah. He said when Bill Shaner is dead and buried.
I do know, to Yenny's point, that Mike is a huge fan of land use taxes as well. It does seem to be the thing that a lot of places are that are a little bit more progressive thinking are moving towards in terms of the way they tax land. That it's based on the usage.
Interesting.
Yeah,
very interesting. Well, let's get him on, and we'll try and survive the last few weeks of the year, everybody.
So how many? Let's get this nailed down right now. How many more meetings do we have with this city council?
Does that include the one where we spend 6 hours talking about how much we love Sean Rose and how we're not going to be able to, we can't move forward without him, and we're going to bring in flowers?
All right, I don't want to figure it out anymore.
At least two meetings.
Yes. So there's no meeting next week, the 5th, the 12th, the 19th. So we have 3 left. And then December 26th, obviously, Boxing Day, no meeting.
And then right, Boxing Day, yeah. And then there's the inauguration. I'll be on like the 7th or whatever of January. Oh my God, Soraya Rivera's goodbye speech is gonna. I'll probably have to walk out of the room for that one, honestly. We definitely have to have some sort of video game set up for that.
Yeah.
We cannot just listen to that with a straight face. That's crazy.
Yeah, we should all. You know what? We should all play Fortnite together.
Whoa! Yeah.
In the same.
We should do boxes or something on the length of Soraya Rivera's speech.
Yeah. Right. I like that. Yeah.
But yeah, so 3 more of those. Everybody got that to look forward to. But yeah, we'll try and have some fun. Speaking of having fun, some great stuff coming up in the next few weeks. Fun things to do around the city, including the next Woot Nanny show. Happy Hot Dog Days, everybody. We're doing a holiday-themed hot dog show on December 8th at Coney Island at 7:30 p.m. It's a free show, but we are raising money for the Worcester Free Fridges, Woo Fridge. So come on down. We're trying to run the gamut. We're covering every December holiday that we can possibly work into our games. We got a great lineup. Like I said, we're going to be raising money. Maybe we'll do a can drive too. I don't know. We'll see. But come on down for that. It's going to be a fun old time in the city. Bill Shaner, the Dirty Gerund is on the 4th.
December 4th. That's how many Mondays from now? A couple.
That's 2 Mondays from. That's a week from this coming Monday.
God damn it. All right. I got a lot of work to do for that.
Next Wednesday, I'm just throwing it out there. If anybody wants to come, it's my birthday next Wednesday, and we're going to go do karaoke at Ralph's, I think. So come on down, Commenters Union. Come hang out.
Oh, yeah.
And get your t-shirts at wct3k.storeenvy.com. They are great shirts. I finally got some. They're great. Make sure you sign up for worcestersucks.email for all of your Bill Shaner needs, and for Sean's bad advice column. He gives the worst advice in the biz, baby. And
some terrible recipes this week.
Follow us at WCT3000. Follow us at Woot Nanny Comedy. Follow us on Twitch if you're not following us already, and tell people to follow us actually as well. Because we should start getting subscribers. That's where we need to get to. We need to be at the level of having subscribers and then doing our own emojis. So
yeah, that's what we need. We need our own emojis, and I'm willing to make them.
Perfect. And Travis, our AI Travis, will be happy to make those emojis. We just need to get our follower count up to a certain level, and then we can
Travify.
And then we can do it.
Bill streaming Rocket League will also help us.
Thank you, Maria, for following us on Twitch. That's how you do it, everybody. I hope everybody has a great week. I hope that you have spent time with your families or away from your families, whatever brings you joy. But Thanksgiving is a colonizer holiday, so celebrate it or don't. Do whatever the fuck you want. And with that, I think we'll see you guys in 2 weeks.
See you guys in 2 weeks.
See you Tuesdays. We love you all. Have a good night, everybody.
Have a great holiday.